The breach exposed the names, email addresses, and phone numbers of users around the world, including the driver's license numbers of about 7 million drivers, 600,000 of which were in the United States. The information was accessed through a third-party cloud-based service that Uber uses. The company said no social security numbers, credit card numbers, bank account numbers, birth dates, or trip location data was taken. Uber's CEO said the company took immediate steps to shut down the unauthorized access and destroyed downloaded data. Bloomberg reported that Uber paid hackers $100,000 to delete the downloaded data and keep the data breach secret. Though the breach happened late in 2016, Uber first reported the incident nearly 1 year after it took place and fired Chief Security Officer Joe Sullivan and one other employee involved in the aftermath of the data breach. Uber does not believe any of the information was used fraudulently, but said it was monitoring the affected accounts. The company suggested that those affected monitor their credit reports and accounts.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports the U.S. Department of Justice has threatened to sue Harvard University to force it to turn over documents as it investigates whether the Ivy League school's admission policies violate civil rights laws by discriminating against Asian American applicants. The DOJ cited a 2015 lawsuit that charges Harvard's affirmative action policies discriminate against Asian American applicants in a letter setting a December 1st deadline for Harvard to hand over documents on its admission policies. The DOJ is probing the Massachusetts-based school's compliance with Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, according to the letter dated Friday and seen by Reuters. The measure prohibits institutions that receive federal funding from discriminating based on race, color, or national origin. The squabble follows reports that the DOJ had begun an investigation into whether university affirmative action policies broadly discriminate against white applicants. Attorneys for Harvard, in an October 6th letter to the DOJ seen by Reuters, questioned the timing of the probe. Harvard has long maintained that its admission policies are fully compliant with the U.S. law and has worked to increase the amount of financial aid it offers to ensure economic as well as racial diversity in its classes. The school said earlier this year that just over half of the freshmen admitted in 2017 were women, more than 1 in 5 were Asian, and almost 15% were African American. The Supreme Court has ruled universities may use affirmative action with the aim of helping minority applicants get into college. Some conservatives had said that in helping African American and Latino applicants, affirmative action can hurt white and Asian American applicants. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A Japanese-American internment facility was still in operation in the mountains of Northern California. The facility should have been closed in 1945 and its 6,000 residents released, but unfortunately the camp was overlooked until this week. I am happy to announce, however, that the remaining 118 detainees have now been fully exonerated of suspicion of spying for General Tojo, and they have been freed. Next item of business. The President will be meeting with the Australian Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd. Yes, Denise?
This is a huge oversight. How could this have happened?
Well, Denise, it looks like the camp just somehow slipped through the cracks. The end of the Second World War was a hectic time in America, and it's only natural that we let a couple of things slip in our excitement over defeating the Nazis.
Who's going to be held responsible for this? Congressional investigation?
No, there won't. In fact, the War Relocation Authority was responsible for the decommissioning of the internment facilities, but that organization ceased to exist in 1946, so no.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. It is the Thanksgiving Eve edition of the show. We're here. We're live. We'll take your calls about anything that you want to discuss. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you here in the studio, it's Ian,
Will, and Mike.
And don't forget, you can join us online anytime you want. Just head on over to freetalklive.com, where you can download archives of the show and get interactive in various different ways. Once again, that's freetalklive.com. All right, there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about here tonight. Mike, you had mentioned there's some kind of fund, apparently, that has been uncovered in Washington, D.C. about paying off sexual assault victims, basically. And I know nothing except for what you told me before the show. Is this new, or has this been around for decades and just now it's coming out?
Apparently it's been around for at least since the 90s, and according to this article in Reason.com, they've paid out, in addition to other claims, a total of $17 million since 1998. And against various complaints by staff of Congress. So
it's only going to staff?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
but it's essentially
this isn't to pay off the average person that congressman meets at a bar. This is only to pay off people that
who knows.
Yes. Okay. So tell me more about it. Where's this story coming from?
I found this on Reason.com, and apparently BuzzFeed reported on this last night, and they broke the story that Representative John Conyers, Democrat of Michigan, got paid off a complainant $27,000 to settle a previously undisclosed sexual harassment complaint against the lawmaker, and it's not just notable for the allegations, but it's shedding light on how these settlement funds that Congress has is operating outside of all other government oversight of settlements of various lawsuits of various sorts from different agencies. So other agencies are required to report when they settle complaints and suits and things.
But this agency doesn't.
Yeah, right.
So they're just basically the personal favor agency for the congressman who can just go and apparently assault whoever they want to in their office, and then they know that this fund is just going to take care of them.
Yeah, apparently.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be nice?
No, that's terrible.
It's good to be the king.
Gosh, I mean, I'm not surprised.
I mean, Congress writes itself as immune to all sorts of other laws, so we shouldn't be too surprised at that.
They get special health care compared to everybody else. They get special everything compared to everybody else.
Right.
They get their retirement package after being there one term or something like
sexual harassment insurance.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. I get, like I said, I shouldn't be surprised about this. This isn't really a surprise, but it is interesting that such a thing has been revealed. $17 million.
Since 1998. So that's almost
20 years.
Yeah.
So not quite $1 million a year, but close to it.
I have this really sinking feeling, though, that there's going to be like 2 White House interns they find floating in a river somewhere. Or
those would be the people who don't take the payouts.
No,
right?
Those will be the people that actually that leaked the story about the payouts to the media.
Yeah, I wonder how this did get out.
Yeah,
I wonder what the
whoever let it go is definitely going to have some payback. Oh yeah, because a lot of the people that they've outed, these are like career politicians. They've been in office forever.
Yeah, I've heard the name Conyers before.
Yeah, Conyers has been in office for.
He's the longest serving member of the House of Representatives.
Wow.
So he's got a lot of groping to pay out.
Sounds that way. It would be interesting to see if there was like a Freedom of Information Act that you could pull on this particular organization to just get a rundown of which congressman has the most payouts. How many? 10 or more? A
gropathon.
Somebody should do like you saw Government Gone Wild, where they showed like which members of Congress made the most money off of the economic crash in 2007, 2008.
I thought they were going to be taking their shirts off or something like that.
Like Louis Gohmert. He's one of those that you see in TV a lot, who's like a big mouth, and he's always got some nasty opinion about something. He went from being like $17,000 in debt to being a millionaire, a multimillionaire.
Wow.
During the crash that took out 90% of the average American's wealth. Pensions, retirement plans that they'd been paying into for their entire lives, all just up in smoke. And part of that ended up in Louis Gohmert's checking account and a lot of other politicians. So maybe somebody should put the time in to create a database just like that shows.
Okay. The $17 million paid out over the past 20 years is for 264 settlements.
Wow.
With federal employees. So it's specifically for federal employees that have been harassed by members of Congress. So it's not even the general public.
You said 264 settlements, was it?
Yep.
So that's an average of about $64,000 per incident.
Yeah.
Wow.
So apparently this last one, Conyers, didn't grope her quite enough or up to average. So
I do wonder what level of proof these claimants have. Is it just that you can just accuse a congressman of something and then get a payout, or
I don't
do you have
know.
to do you have to be shown on like a log somewhere where you and the congressman were in the same building at the same time, or how do they? Is there any level of investigation that goes on?
Well, this one with Conyers, the woman who settled with Conyers launched the complaint with the Office of Compliance in 2014, alleging she was fired for refusing his sexual advances, and ended up facing a daunting process that ended up with confidentiality agreements in exchange for a settlement of $27,000.
Wow. If you want to join us here, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. It doesn't matter how much corruption you can uncover. I mean, because this is, like I said, this isn't a surprise, right? People know that Congress people are sociopaths. They're sick people. And so it's not a surprise when it turns out that they're abusing their aides, they're groping their office workers, they're coming on to people in an inappropriate fashion. None of these things are a surprise. They shouldn't be. But yet, people seem to think they can change Washington, D.C. They seem to think that just throw the bastards out. That's going to solve
the bastards out, get another bastard in, pass another law.
Right, because if John Conyers goes at some point, he probably will, whether he dies or retires or whatever, there's going to be somebody who replaces him that's going to be just as corrupt, or if not more so. Can anybody argue that D.C. has gotten less corrupt over time?
Oh, God, no.
Right. So I know there's this sort of fantasy that people have about Donald Trump, that he's going to go in and drain the swamp. And in fact, you mentioned Reason.com. I think I actually had something from them where they were claiming that he had done something good. We'll see if I can pull that up here a little bit later. But again, like I said, if you want to join us here, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Okay, here's the headline from Reason. Is Donald Trump, of all presidents, devolving power back to the legislative branch? Claim here from Matt Welch at Reason is that, contrary to his reputation and Twitter feed, the president has been selectively trimming executive power. Now, is this really, even if it's true, I mean, without even having read the story here from Reason, let's just take the headline at its word, which is generally a bad idea, but let's just take that at its word and say Donald Trump has moved power from the executive branch into the legislative branch. Whoopee-doo.
Yeah, it's like,
It's just moving the chairs around on the deck,
It's like taking a bucket of water out of the shower and then pouring it into the deep end and thinking you got more water somehow.
Or that it matters. Or that, okay, great. So now there's more power in one branch versus another branch, as though they don't all really work together over time to increase the size and the scope of the government and its invasiveness and its expense.
Well, in one respect, the Congress is the most dysfunctional branch of government that gets the least done. So if you give it the power and it's unable to do anything, you've got, maybe there's a bit of a win there.
We're talking about a president that has an approval rating of like 40% and a Congress that has an approval rating of 12%. I mean,
and I think it's dropped since that.
I'll share the story here. We'll get into it here in a moment. We'll see if there's anything actually worth getting interested in here, because they decided it was worth writing an article about at Reason.com, normally a pretty libertarian publication.
And Matt Welch is usually pretty good about being accurate.
So we'll see what they have to say here in a moment. So you can share your thoughts with us. Plus, on the way, sort of illegal Bitcoin mining in Egypt. Will's going to tell us about that coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are two Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Shop online and support Free Talk Live. Every purchase you make at shop.freetalklive.com helps spread a message of liberty. From shop.freetalklive.com, you can shop at places like Walmart, Newegg, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Omaha Steaks, HostGator, and more. Plus, you can get discounts on web hosting, legal documents, or pretty much anything using saveatpurse.com. Just bookmark the link and help Free Talk Live while shopping online. Thank you for shopping with shop.freetalklive.com.
Are you making sense to the boomer mindset? I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. 80 million baby boomers comprise 25% of the population and control most of the USA's wealth. As aging parents pass on, they'll control more. Boomers are 46 to 65 years old and regard themselves as midlife. They identify as neither young nor old. They're post-minivan and pre-retirement, and they don't like being called boomers. They think me. Many of the purchases boomer couples make are individual purposes. They've been experimenters all their lives. If you want their attention, tell stories and keep it simple. If something seems complicated, boomers can dismiss it as, I don't need this. And if you're looking for work, you may be applying to a boomer, so relate accordingly. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Join us here toll free, 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and you can Skype on in here at Skype username lrn.fm. Here in the studio with you, it's Ian,
Will,
and Mike.
Also, let's talk nutritional supplements for a moment. Over 60% of Americans take a nutritional supplement, and for good reason. Nutrient depletion of our soil, coupled with dependence on processed foods, has left most people deficient in essential nutrients. But where do you start? If you visit a naturopath, you'll likely be told a cheap vitamin mineral supplement doesn't cut it. You'll also need probiotics, enzymes, antioxidants, and other nutrients. By the time it's all said and done, you're buying 5 bottles of product and spending $150 a month. If that's a situation you've experienced, then you should know about Whole Food Multi-Complete. For 15 years, Whole Food Multi-Complete has been quietly providing what the big guys won't, the perfect blend of supplements in a single product. They've taken the expense and complexity out of following a complete supplement program. So visit simplifymysupplements.com and learn more there. You can use coupon code FTL, like Free Talk Live, to receive 10% off your order, any order that you make there. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back, and they do take Bitcoin, so head over to simplifymysupplements.com. Don't forget code FTL, like Free Talk Live. So we've got this story here, since we were kind of talking about one of the most detestable subjects in the world, which is politicians. Something I don't generally like to spend a whole lot of time on this program, because I don't even like to talk, I don't like even naming their names. They're just, to me, they're just scum of the earth, and they're not really even worth talking about. But there is one in particular that's more entertaining than the rest of them. That is Donald Trump. And, you got to give the guy credit, at least where credit is due. He is probably the most entertaining of presidents in my lifetime, at least.
Yeah.
The story here from Reason.com's Matt Welch. Donald Trump did not campaign for president as the guy who would reverse the mostly unbroken, century-old trend of the executive power assuming more and more power in the face of an increasingly self-marginalizing Congress. If anything, the imperial presidency looked set to increase, given Trump's braggadocious personality and cavalier approach to constitutional restraints. He famously said during his worryingly authoritarian Republican National Convention speech, quote, "Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it," unquote. You wouldn't know it from viewing policy through the prism of the president's Twitter feed, which is filled with cajoling and insult to the legislative branch. But Trump has on multiple occasions taken an executive branch power grab and kicked the issue back to Congress where it belongs. As detailed here last month, the president has taken this approach on Iran sanctions, Obamacare subsidies, and the Deferred Action Against Childhood Arrivals Program, or DACA, at a minimum. And notably, his one Supreme Court nominee, Neil Gorsuch, was most famous pre-appointment for rejecting the deference that courts have in recent decades given to executive branch regulatory agencies interpreting the statutory language of legislators. Are there any other examples? Sure, the 15 regulatory nullifications this year via the Congressional Review Act are definitionally power transfers from the executive to legislative, and certainly the sharp decreases in the enactment proposal and even page count of regulations amount to the administration declining to exercise as much power as its predecessors. Well, are you guys excited yet? Donald Trump's draining the swamp.
Well, by that definition, shouldn't Putin be the best guy to lead Russia by the same logic?
Why, is he also devolving power?
Well, because nobody knows how to wield power in Moscow better than Putin, right?
Again, it's the same thing I said before. It's taking water out of the shallow end and pouring it in the deep end and saying, "Oh, look, there's less water in the shallow end." And it's the same thing, oh, he's rolling back federal power while he beats the drum of executive order.
So I guess they mentioned.
Come on.
Says here, Trump kicked over Iran sanctions to Congress. So instead of Trump making the wrong decision, Congress is going to make the wrong decision, right? I don't know what they did in that case. Did you guys hear about that?
Congress can't make any decisions.
Congress wants to go to war with Iran, and Trump wants. Well, the lobbyists that control Congress want to go to war with Iran. Let's get that straight. And Trump wants to go to war with Iran because his main portion of supporters want to go to war with Iran. So, yay, I guess we get to go to war with Iran.
Over at the Wall Street Journal, Chris DeMuth, former president of the American Enterprise Institute and Reagan-era administrator of the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, points out some of these underappreciated devolutions, and with qualified enthusiasm adds another: regulatory budget cutting. Quote, in an executive order issued shortly after taking office, Trump directed that unless a statute requires otherwise, agencies may issue new regulations only by rescinding two or more existing regulations, with net costs held to an annual budget. His budget for fiscal 2017 was zero, which was easily met after agencies issued few new rules and lawmakers rescinded many under the Congressional Review Act. Now, we were skeptical when that happened, when that executive order was issued, because there were all kinds of exemptions that were written into that. It was heralded as this small government policy, which on its face sounds good, right? Like, okay, if you want to write a regulation, you got to Acts 2 for every one that you want to write. Now, of course, libertarians would say you shouldn't add any, and you should just axe the regulations, right, and get rid of them totally.
Well, the net result is,
But if the net result is fewer regulations, and that's what they're claiming here. Let's see. They rescinded many under the Review Act. Now, an OMB directive from Mr. Rao, I guess is his name, in September has set a goal of, quote, net reduction in total incremental regulatory costs, unquote, in fiscal 2018. A regulatory budget goes much deeper. It aims not only at restraint, but at reforming agency culture. Faced with a 2-for-1 rule and a requirement to reduce annual costs, regulators will be obliged to monitor the effectiveness of all their rules and to make choices. There will be efforts to game the system, as there always are, but the best game in town may be to shift from maximizing rules to maximizing within the budget constraint, environmental quality, public health, workplace safety, and other regulatory goals. And in all events, there will be fewer rules. So, I mean, if that's true, then it's hard to say that that's a bad thing. Indeed, in the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, there have been some rule rollbacks. And I know this because I'm in, the industry, the radio industry, and I get these industry publications which follow what the FCC is doing to some extent. And normally that stuff's pretty dull to read, but it is interesting when you see them actually proposing to repeal certain regulations within the radio business. And a lot of radio station owners are pretty happy about that. So I can't say that that's a bad thing, right? Like, Trump probably deserves some credit for that because it's his guys that are going in there to do that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You seem a little reticent to give credit.
Well, no, I gave credit where credit's due, but I'm not going to say that this is going to make the government any smaller. I don't believe that the government's going to shrink ultimately as a result of this. I don't think the expense, right? Because that's what you can look at. They can cut out some regulations, and that's not a bad thing. But ultimately, the government is still going to bomb innocent people around the globe. It's going to put peaceful people in prison cells right here in the United States. And it's going to continue doing that with gusto. Those departments are not going to have their budgets cut. If anything, if they end up saving money, they may end up increasing military budgets.
Gives more slush for all the fun stuff.
There's more here. You can join us. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We got crypto in Egypt coming up.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNloans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNloans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNloans.com. That's GCNloans.com.
Free Talk Live.
Having spent 8 years, 6 months, and 21 days of my life in the Florida State prison system, I'm going to say that the incidences of rape are much, much exaggerated in the media. I'm sure it happened.
It makes for interesting television shows.
Yeah. I mean, all the things that I've seen on Oz, I saw in prison, but I was there for 9 years. So, if I saw one incidence of violence where somebody got their ear bit off, okay, it didn't happen every episode.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it is a public perception, though, and people, it's almost a joke, or it's like a wink and a nod.
Yeah, sure.
Bubba's going to get you when you go to prison.
That's exactly the idea. As though sodomy somehow fixes people's broken minds. Right. That's not where they're putting that thing. So I mean, it's not gonna jostle anything around and fix it.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free to join us on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and you can Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Here in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Will,
and Mike.
Hey, if you are interested in getting into Bitcoin, maybe learning the basics about it, great place to go, Bitcoin.com. Also, if you're old school with Bitcoin, you want to get up to date with the latest news, then you can also go to Bitcoin.com. They've got that there at their news site at news.bitcoin.com. Plus, if you want to get into Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash mining, you can do that. Bitcoin.com has either one. In fact, I just opened up a new mining contract last night after having what I considered to be a success with my initial 6-month one that I did earlier this year. They no longer have the 6-month option. There's a 12-month and a lifetime. So I went with the 12-month this time around. And this time I'm going to stick with Bitcoin Cash through the entire thing and see if I can get more Bitcoin Cash out of it than I put into it.
How did that 6-month one pay out?
Well, that's the thing. I switched it from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash basically halfway through.
Yeah.
So I can't really compare apples to apples. I put in one Bitcoin back in May, which was worth about $2,000 at the time.
Yeah.
So not looking at the price increase, but just looking at how much Bitcoin came back out of it. At the time that I flipped to Bitcoin Cash, I was not even quite halfway through, close to, I would say halfway, maybe close to 3 months of the 6-month contract, and I had 0.61, just over 0.61 Bitcoin. So more than 0.6 of a Bitcoin had come out within the first 3 months.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's hard to say exactly how that would have played out for the next 3 months because mining difficulty changes over time. But the amount of Bitcoin Cash that I got out after I made the flip was 4.6 Bitcoin Cash, and at over $1,000 per Bitcoin Cash and over $8,000 per Bitcoin. Doing the math, the total value of the amount of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash that I got out was higher than the value of one Bitcoin today, or one Bitcoin and one Bitcoin Cash. So I think it would have worked if I'd have stuck with Bitcoin the entire time and been able to actually look, okay, I got 1.1 or 1.05 and out when I put one in. That's really what I want to be able to see happen, but because I made the flip in the middle, I can't really know for sure. So does that answer your question?
Well, you did make a profit, and that's what's important. So that looking at what's the ROI, and I think that.
Well, I mean, is it really a profit though? I mean, first of all, I'm not seeking profit. For me, it was more of a hobby and an experiment than anything else. But for those who are, you can't really think about the value of the coin going up. You have to factor that out, because if you put in 1 Bitcoin but you get 0.9 Bitcoin out, you didn't make a profit.
Right.
You lost 1/10 of a Bitcoin.
Right.
In that case. So that's why I say I don't know for sure. I think it would have worked out given the numbers that I can provide.
Well, if you were at 0.6 at 3 months, that's ahead.
And not even quite 3 months.
Yeah.
Not even quite.
Oh, good. So there's definitely ahead.
It was, but then again, Bitcoin could have gotten more difficult over that time, although it may not have, because of the fighting between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and the mining sort of war that has been going on.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing 2 weeks ago was really interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if it would have. I think it probably would have panned out. But I'm interested to see what it would have been, and I don't know. I can't figure that out. There's no way to really calculate that. Would it have been 1.1 or 1.15 Bitcoin out? I don't know. I don't imagine it would have been more than 1.5, though. I can't imagine that would have been the case. So probably like 1.1, 1.2.
A 50% return over 6 months is a pretty good return on investment, I would say.
Well, again, how are you looking at 50%?
Well, if you put in 1 and you get 1.5, that's.
I think that's probably really unlikely. I mean, but again, like I said, I don't know, so I can't say for sure. So that's why I'm going to try the 12-month, and I'm going to stick with just Bitcoin Cash for the whole time, and see if after a year, if more Bitcoin Cash has come out than what I put in.
Right.
So that's my plan.
Good.
You can go to pool.bitcoin.com. You can try it out for yourself. But ultimately, it's almost like Bitcoin mining is more of a hobby to support whichever network that you want to support. I don't know. It seems to me like everybody who's ever tried Bitcoin mining has completely failed at it. When they pay for some equipment and then they run it. I'm talking about the people who are buying their own equipment and then using their own power to do this thing. You're basically converting your power bill into cryptocurrency.
And given our high electricity rates here in the U.S. compared to other places,
especially in New Hampshire, where we live, which are even higher than a lot of places in the United States. If you don't have free electricity, it's pretty much a waste of your effort to get into mining. This is my understanding. Now, again, I'm not an expert. I've only fiddled with mining over the years. I've done it a little bit with like Litecoin or Bitcoin and some other things just to kind of play with it. So I've successfully done some mining, but ultimately it's like, you can't use the computer you're mining on, so it basically becomes just a mining rig, in which case you might as well have some kind of specialized hardware, because that's not as efficient. If you're using just a regular computer, you're not getting the same efficiency as you would out of a regular, like a specified mining hardware. But I just could never justify buying mining hardware, because I can't see making that money back anytime soon at like trying to, pay off the cost of the equipment. It would just be very difficult, it seems.
Yeah, mining rigs are pretty expensive, aren't they?
If you want to get a pro,
they're like
one, I imagine
$5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah, I just can't justify it. It doesn't make sense. If you got $5,000, put it into Bitcoin and wait. You're gonna do better most of the time.
There's some interesting news recently. The Chinese, one of the power authorities in China, which controls the big dams there, is taking over a lot of the subsidiary, the tertiary dams in the water system there, and they're starting to tell miners in China that there's no more free ride, no more subsidized electricity. So it seems to be like that the cost of mining in China, which has dominated mining globally
for a long time,
is going to go up, and that may make mining outside China a bit more competitive.
That's an interesting possibility. And of course, now there's even more competition than ever before, what with the advent of Bitcoin Cash that just started in August and is now fighting with those miners are... the miners generally want to go where the profit is,
right?
And if Bitcoin Cash can stay profitable, then it's going to attract more miners. If it's more profitable than regular Bitcoin or Bitcoin Core, whatever you want to call it, then it'll attract more miners over there. It'll get more hash rate, and more mining, just in general, is going to encourage more development of miner technologies and more money being poured into that. I think somebody said on the air that the graphics card companies have had a tremendous increase in what they were expecting to reach, with technology increasing over time. Moore's Law, I think, is what it's called. Yep. I don't know if that actually holds true these days, but the idea of over a specified time frame, technology will become so much better and more efficient. Well, all the money the investment money and the capital and whatever that's being poured into mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has heavily driven the graphics card sales out there, which has resulted in more, graphics card development.
Which is great.
Which means more efficient mining, which means more, people who mine making money at it. So it's wonderful that people are making it work in other countries, but I'm skeptical that you can do it in the United States with the rates of power here.
I was at Best Buy last month to get a new graphics card so I could do some VR work, and there was only one graphics card left in stock.
Wow.
At least one that wasn't, low end. So and these were all the NVIDIA 1000 series, and those were all useful for mining. So obviously people are getting into it.
If you are looking at building a mining rig, or just need a graphics card or whatever, we do have a Newegg account, an affiliate account. So you can go to shop.freetalklive.com. You'll find our Newegg link there. There's also Newegg Canada as well, though I don't think we've ever gotten a payout from them, but every now and then Newegg sends us a few bucks. So you can go to shop.freetalklive.com. You can find those links there. And, of course, it is Thanksgiving Eve, which means the Thanksgiving Day madness, sales, the Black Friday, they're just around the corner. You can comment on all of that if you want. Plus, since we're talking about mining, let's get into this story out of Egypt about what it's like to actually mine Bitcoin there. There's apparently some risks involved in mining Bitcoin. You can take control of the airwaves here. Our number 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this hospital.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Forget it.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
property.
What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Join us here, toll free, 855-450-FREE like freedom. If you want to bring up whatever's on your mind, you may do that. We're here live on Thanksgiving Eve with you in the studio. You've got Ian.
Will.
And Mike.
Again, our number, 855-450-FREE. You can join us on Skype as well. The Skype username here is LRN.FM. So we were talking about Bitcoin mining, and is it really worth doing? Maybe, maybe not. It depends. If you've got free power and you've already got some mining equipment sitting around, then well, why not at that point? But the average person probably doesn't live on a dam or some other solar array or some other kind of way that they can acquire.
Mom and Dad's power.
Yeah, I don't know if Mom and Dad would be too happy about that if they found out that you were using their power bill for Bitcoin mining. But I bet that's something a lot of young people who are still living at home, who got into Bitcoin and their parents don't know anything about it. They probably have successfully gotten away with that to some extent.
Billy's basement Bitcoin mining.
Yeah,
right.
So we were talking about mining in general, but Will, you actually happen to have a story tonight specifically about that coming out of Egypt. This is something that you've been following regarding Bitcoin miners there, trying to avoid detection.
Yeah. Well, we've been, the work that I do. I've been pushing, cryptocurrencies as an alternative to get the ability of these countries to kind of take the power of their economy back from Western banks.
Sure.
And so in Egypt, what they've got going on right now, this is in Startup Scene, and Charlotte Swan wrote this story. It's called Inside the Secretive World of Egypt's Bitcoin Miners. And she talks about, basically she goes, and it's just this huge empty apartment with some mattresses on the floor and this, quote, sprawling Franken computer. Its many components balanced on a homemade wooden frame, cables radiating outward from the machine like creeping ivy. Said that it took her forever to find these guys because basically in Egypt it can get you in a little bit of trouble. And the story actually goes through, how do you mine Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. But the really thing I think that's really important, it's about 2/3 down the article. It says, why Egypt of all places? The answer...
Well, it's happening all over the world, but yeah.
The answer is a direct consequence of the physical demands of farming cryptocurrency. A miner's computer is a tireless machine, slaving away at all hours, transforming math into money. The price of this immense power is the energy draw required to keep the hardware from overheating until it destroys itself. Its built-in fans aren't enough to combat the heat generated by such a constant, strenuous workload.
Yeah, you got to have the air conditioning cool.
Yeah, external fans and air conditioning are needed to keep mining farms cool. Even as we sit motionless in Hussein's room, separated from the relentless Cairo sun by thick shades drawn across the windows, beads of sweat are crawling down our foreheads. I definitely need a shower after this, he grimaces, wiping his brow with a tissue. Demanding as it is to keep things cool in a desert country, energy costs in Egypt are exceedingly cheap in comparison to other developed nations. Quote, recently, people in Egypt started mining a lot because energy prices are really low. Until recently, energy was subsidized, and a lot of people didn't even pay for electricity, which is sad. But that's part of why it's more profitable to mine in Egypt. Yes, of course, I pay my electricity bill unsubsidized.
Right, I was going to say, he said until recently it was subsidized, so that's changed?
Yes, that has changed. It's not completely subsidized. It's not free
partially
anymore.
Subsidized?
Depending on the person now. It's like one of those income-dependent kind of things.
But even if you are paying the bill, as he claims to be, it's still cheaper, is what you're saying. The energy's cheaper in Egypt than in other places.
It is cheaper there than it is in other places.
Yeah, they've got this humongous dam on the Nile River, the Aswan High Dam, that just generates a tremendous amount of hydropower for the country.
Huh.
Well, it says here, and the question was asked, well, why are you guys so secretive? Why are you so underground? It says, when asked about the furtiveness of cryptocurrency miners, Hussein explained the activity is not officially forbidden, but it's legally sketchy enough that most people are concerned about being discovered. I mean, this is Egypt where, you had the Mubarak government where they would black bag you and disappear you to a torture chamber. And then the people overthrew that government and democratically elected the Muslim Brotherhood, who, they're the most unsuccessful political party in modern history. 2 bloody revolutions and winning a popular election. They still couldn't take over their entire country. And for all their horrible things, at least there you had shows like The Daily Show, which you can't have now. If you had that now in Egypt, Sisi, who was put into power with your tax dollars, my tax dollars, $1.5 billion worth, is the same thing. He will black bag you and you'll just disappear and your family won't ever hear about you again, and they'll rip your fingernails out and bury you in a shallow grave out back somewhere. So people are scared of doing anything, like jaywalking. You get disappeared and black bagged if they don't like you from the wrong tribe or the wrong group. So people are super, super low key about it. It says, quote, I believe what I'm doing is legal, and when people get arrested for mining, it's usually because they're caught with a black market foreign currency exchange, or they're forging money and they just happen to have mining rigs or Bitcoin on them. The authorities see this and therefore associate cryptocurrency with illegal activities.
I see.
Suddenly, the defensive attitude of the mining community made a lot more sense. But is it legally off limits? I asked Hussein for clarification. The recent statements that they've gotten say mining is not illegal, but it can get you into trouble. I think the administration is trying to understand cryptocurrency, but they're still in the process of learning more. I'm 99% sure that if they knew more about it, it'd be fully legalized in Egypt. Legal like in Japan, the US, England, Europe, legal like in most countries.
Yeah, it's legal to mine in the United States, but the question of selling Bitcoin has been thrown out there by the federal government arresting people for selling Bitcoin on sites like Local Bitcoins, for instance, and then charging them with operating an illegal money transmitting business, for instance, which is a strange thing to charge someone with because, well, they're not doing money transmission. Money transmission by, legal definition is where, will you give me money to give to Mike? Let's say he's not here. He's at his house up in the Upper Valley, but I'm traveling up there. You give me money to give to Mike, and you pay me a fee on top of that to give Mike that money. I'm a money transmitter legally in that particular case, like Western Union.
A guy that I work with at Trive.news, he goes by the name Smokin' Joe. He got arrested and lost his camper in Louisiana for exchanging Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they're talking here, there's a huge problem with unemployment in Egypt, and there has been for quite a few years. It's what kicked off the Arab Spring, was the high unemployment rates.
They didn't have anything better to do
in Egypt. So basically what they're saying here is so many people are getting into mining. Like it says mining in Egypt is booming, but one issue is the equipment. When the price of Ethereum spiked, the demand for GPUs was so high that stores couldn't stock enough of them. And now getting GPUs in Egypt is kind of like getting drugs.
Wow.
You have to like find them.
Know somebody who knows
know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Bro, the first one's always free.
Yeah.
And it's like mining is basically, it is becoming the solution to Egypt's unemployment problems. It's keeping these it's keeping these people from starving to death because it gets them access to foreign currency because they mine it and then they sell it in like local Bitcoin style websites.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And they have a guy that works with them, and he sells the Bitcoin, and they get foreign currencies, and then they can use that to buy bread.
Yeah, absolutely. Mining is putting food on people's tables in Venezuela as well.
Yeah.
Where there's a similar story, except in Venezuela the power is subsidized, and if you use it without government permission for mining, they will come after you with the secret police. So they really are hiding in Venezuela.
And it's not just Bitcoin that they're doing it with. I mean,
no.
they're talking
Bitcoin is actually not as profitable as many other cryptocurrencies.
Ethereum is the big thing over there right now. Ethereum and Dash.
There's a website that's called What to Mine. You can go there and they will tell you based on profitability, based on hash rate, based on difficulty. They'll tell you right now what is the most profitable cryptocurrency to mine. And then if you want to turn that into Bitcoin or Dash or whatever, there are ways to do that too. I'm curious about this guy who was arrested for selling cryptocurrency. Where was he selling it?
In Louisiana.
Like in physical reality?
Yeah, in physical reality.
And was he doing it through local Bitcoins, or what was his story?
I think he was doing it through local Bitcoins, but they just, they saw him, found him doing this, and they...
Was it the feds or the Louisiana State?
It was Louisiana State.
What did they charge him with? Do you know?
Possession of a communications device.
What?
Yeah.
I hope you can tell me more about that, because I'm curious. Hour number 2 is on the way. This is Free Talk Live.
Have you checked your ECS lately? We have. We are New Pharma, scientists who specialize in human functions controlled by the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. Let me simplify. Your ECS is involved in physiological processes like appetite, pain sensation, mood, memory, and immune systems. New Pharma's patent-pending science is the big difference in our natural solutions, formulated for your well-being. For example, our foundation product provides targeted nutrition to support a healthy endocannabinoid system, which is directly responsible for managing and controlling inflammation. This product contains turmeric, which is known as one of the best anti-inflammatories on the planet. Our Allergies product contains sage, which is a very effective decongestant. See all of our amazing capsules, essential oils, and ECS herbal teas at GNUPHARMA.com. New Pharma. Your path to wellness begins here.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, November 22nd, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.96 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,280 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,174. Antiwar.com reports Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri will be attending the Wednesday Independence Day parade in Beirut after all, having finally arrived in Lebanon on Tuesday evening to end weeks overseas during which his fate had been highly questioned. Even Tuesday, it was not clear what would happen. He visited Egypt earlier in the day as planned, but then detoured last minute to Cyprus when he was supposed to be en route to Beirut, meeting with the Cypriot leader. Hariri resigned earlier this month while in Saudi Arabia, though the Saudis are accused of having forced him to make this announcement, and he promised clarifications now that he's back in Lebanon. That's not likely to be for a day at least, with Independence Day celebrations expected before his meeting with Lebanese President Michael Aoun, and his public statement coming only after that.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
UPI reports Uber revealed Tuesday that hackers accessed the ride-hailing company's database and stole the personal information of 57 million customers and drivers 1 year ago. The breach exposed the names, email addresses, and phone numbers of users around the world, including the driver's license numbers of about 7 million drivers, 600,000 of which were in the United States. The information was accessed through a third-party cloud-based service that Uber uses. The company said no social security numbers, credit card numbers, bank account numbers, birth dates, or trip location data was taken. Uber's CEO said the company took immediate steps to shut down the unauthorized access and destroyed downloaded data. Bloomberg reported that Uber paid hackers $100,000 to delete the downloaded data and keep the data breach secret. Though the breach happened late in 2016, Uber first reported the incident nearly 1 year after it took place and fired Chief Security Officer Joe Sullivan and one other employee involved in the aftermath of the data breach. Uber does not believe any of the information was used fraudulently, but said it was monitoring the affected accounts. The company suggested that those affected monitor their credit reports and accounts.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports the U.S. Department of Justice has threatened to sue Harvard University to force it to turn over documents as it investigates whether the Ivy League school's admission policies violate civil rights laws by discriminating against Asian American applicants. The DOJ cited a 2015 lawsuit that charges Harvard's affirmative action policies discriminate against Asian American applicants in a letter setting a December 1st deadline for Harvard to hand over documents on its admission policies. The DOJ is probing the Massachusetts-based school's compliance with Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, according to the letter dated Friday and seen by Reuters. The measure prohibits institutions that receive federal funding from discriminating based on race, color, or national origin. The squabble follows reports that the DOJ had begun an investigation into whether university affirmative action policies broadly discriminate against white applicants. Attorneys for Harvard, in an October 6th letter to the DOJ seen by Reuters, questioned the timing of the probe. Harvard has long maintained that its admission policies are fully compliant with the U.S. law and has worked to increase the amount of financial aid it offers to ensure economic as well as racial diversity in its classes. The school said earlier this year that just over half of the freshmen admitted in 2017 were women, more than 1 in 5 were Asian, and almost 15% were African American. The Supreme Court has ruled universities may use affirmative action with the aim of helping minority applicants get into college. Some conservatives had said that in helping African American and Latino applicants, affirmative action can hurt white and Asian American applicants. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Turning to health news, doctors at Johns Hopkins Medical School have discovered that bones are the coolest part of the body. The 10-year study found that although the body has many cool things in it, nothing is cooler than your skeleton.
Just think about it. You have this soft, fleshy body, but inside of it, there's a second, tinier body that's made out of a super hard rock. Our data is conclusive. Bones are very, very cool.
To conduct the study, researchers examined every single body part and determined how cool or uncool it was.
We initially thought the brain might be the coolest part because it's like a computer that runs on food. But when we looked at it up close, it was all gross and wrinkled. Brains are not cool. Bones are cool.
Doctors discovered that there are big, strong bones like baseball bats in your arms and legs, hand bones that look like a monster claw, and skull bones that make a scary face. Doctors did caution that as cool as human bones are, they're not nearly as cool as dinosaur bones.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. As always, you can join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. You can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Here in the studio with you, it's Ian,
Will,
and Mike.
We're going to go to your calls and thoughts. Mike, you had mentioned a friend of yours or a coworker, somebody that you work with online at the Tribe.news. I think you mentioned.
Yeah, Joe Santaniello. Yeah, Joe Santaniello. He's a DC campaign strategist that he had told us about getting busted in Louisiana
for selling bitcoins.
Yeah.
And he's fighting it, you said.
Yeah.
So, do you know anything else about it?
I don't. I actually just messaged him to get more details. And
yeah, I'm very interested in hearing about that. So maybe it's one of those things where he just got popped and it never really made the news headlines. One of those situations.
Don't know. We'll find out.
All right. So as we know more, we'll share that with you as we go to your calls and thoughts here. Ricky is on the line in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Ricky.
Thank you there, brother Ian. Good evening.
What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I mean, there was some events last night that transpired and a little bit of back and forth here. And if I may have a little bit of a conversation, and then I have a request with Will over here, if that's all right. You there, Will?
Hey, how you doing, Ricky?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. I wanted to ask you a question first off. Are you familiar with Matthew chapter 5, verse 37?
I'm sure if you quoted it to me, I could probably be.
Yeah, simply let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Anything beyond this is from the evil one. You know that one, right?
Yes.
You understand it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ricky, now that being said, I got my hat
Wait,
on.
You're
tonight.
Ricky. Were you referring to yourself in the third person there?
No, I'm saying.
No, he was basically telling me that,
No. Sir means respect. You have none. You can call me Ricky.
Oh, I see. That's what he was saying. Okay, gotcha.
That being said, see, the thing that's transpired last
Where I
night.
come, you just say sir to anybody that's more than 5 years older than you. It's an East Tennessee thing.
I would say sir to people younger than me when I was doing customer service. It's just anyway. Go ahead, Ricky. What were you talking about?
Well, here's what it comes down to. You asked him a question. I'm going to answer that for you.
Who asked who a question?
Oh, Brother Will last night, if he said what he said when he talked to Ricky, that night. And I could tell you that night, I'm going to quote it, and I'm going to tell you what he said, and you can look it up in the archives.
Okay.
You see, okay, Brother Darrell was on that night, and I was talking about $2 bills and money. Now, I appreciate Will not interrupting me, and he can definitely respond. Now, as the call was going on, first thing came out of Will's mouth is just out in the open air. He started with that little laugh of his. He says, Darrell, I'm glad you left that door open. Now, he further on at the end, after the call ended, and he said, and I quote, I'm going to quote this now. He says, whether I'm on the air or listening, I usually do something else. Now, my answer to this.
What is that supposed to mean?
I swore.
What does that mean? What is this in reference to?
Whenever Ricky comes on the show and I'm listening at home, I can't understand him.
Right. That's why I have to constantly ask questions to try
so
to kind of
I usually
understand.
just go do something else. When I used to smoke cigarettes, that was my time that I would go outside
Ricky
and
time?
smoke. Yeah, it's like Ricky time. Well, there used to be another guy, that James guy from Arizona.
Yeah.
I used to go outside for him too.
We had to ban him.
Yeah.
'Cause he just kept calling about the same old thing. And Ricky's starting to turn into a James, where he's calling obsessively about previous shows, and that may cross a line soon, Ricky. But go ahead with what you have to say.
Well, here's the thing. If you listen to the archive show of the 30th, he says, I'm glad you're leaving that door open. And then he also said,
What door? What are we talking about?
He said something, and Daryl looked at me because there was a
No, I'm just going to turn you down. Your shouting ain't going to work.
There was
Go
a
ahead
joke
there.
that could have been made. Ricky said something, and like it left this door wide open.
This
for
is
a
the worst
joke.
part.
And Daryl looked at me because he thought of the joke the same time I did, and I was like, "I'm so glad you left that door open," instead of walking through it.
So
no, I don't think so. You're walking straight in the gates of hell, liar.
What are you saying he's lying about?
Because you listen to that show, he said, I'm glad you're leaving that door open. Ha, ha, ha. And he's saying that to Daryl in reference to me. And he says, at the end, when Miss Melanie defended me and said that she kind of uptight about the way he was operating, he said,
Melanie wasn't on the show Will was on.
Yeah, no, Daryl was on, Melanie was on, Will was on.
No, Daryl wasn't on. No, I'm sorry. I think that all the shows are blurring together in your mind, Ricky. We don't have 4 hosts on at one given time, and yeah, I'm sorry about that, but you might want to check your archive or your memory or something like that.
Today, October 30th.
See, here's the problem, Ricky. I'm going to tell you this now. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear any more calls about previous shows because the average person listening to this program wasn't listening on October 30th. Lots of people are in their cars right now, driving home from work or getting into a rental car at the airport or whatever. They're flipping on the radio, and they're hearing some lunatic shrieking at the top of his lungs about something that happened on the air 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
It was October 30th.
I don't care when it was. I really don't care.
Oh, it's okay to lie on the air.
Huh?
He lied on the air, and he lied to you.
Ricky, no one knows what you're talking about, and you don't even know what you're talking about. You couldn't even recollect who was on the show correctly. Thank you for the call tonight. So that's going to be enough of that. No more calling about whatever happened in the past on this show, especially if you can't actually recollect it for the listener. I mean, it would be one thing if there was some understandable recollection of what it was that happened.
Probably half my fault. Ricky was on the air, so instead of paying attention, I was ordering new registers for the floor on the internet.
Let's talk to Joe. He's calling from Louisiana, I think. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Joe.
Oh, I'm actually in Florida right now. But
all right.
Yeah, Mike told me to call in to talk about something going on in Bitcoin, talking about the inevitable bust from Tether.
From Tether?
Was that from Tether?
Yeah, I think Tether's going to be I think it's going to be the major cause of it. I mean,
okay, hold on. Wait. Maybe there was a miscommunication. We can talk about Tether, but our listeners will need to understand what that is. That's a whole other conversation. Yeah. We were told that you were arrested for selling Bitcoin.
Me being arrested. Yes. Okay. I misunderstood what he was talking about.
Is that something that you want to talk about? Because, obviously if you've got criminal charges against you, most attorneys would recommend you not talk about it. But if you want to, I'm happy to hear the story.
I'll keep it in kind of vague for the time being. Yeah, you are correct. The attorney definitely told me to keep it, not be very open about everything going on because, it can tie to the case. But essentially, when I was driving through Kansas, somebody got pulled over, and because I knew that person, I later got pulled over. And by knowing them, I mean, we are friends, and that was really the extent of it. And
you knew which person? I'm sorry, I missed the detail. What does knowing someone have to do with getting pulled over?
They texted me to say, "Hey, let's go get lunch."
Uh-huh.
And after I just got pulled over, we're just I was driving east, he's driving east. I was like, "Sure, let's go get lunch." He got pulled over. They said he had allegedly had some cannabis on him. I get pulled over. They seem, that I had, Bitcoin.
Just to be
wallet,
clear, I just want to make
Bitcoin.
sure. I'm sorry, Joe, to keep interrupting you here. I just want to set the scene correctly here. You are driving separately from this other person who wanted to meet you for lunch. Was this other person someone who wanted to buy Bitcoin from you?
No, not at all.
Okay,
I don't
so
even
just a
think
friend.
anybody knew besides Yeah, just another friend.
Just a friend,
We
okay.
just heading in the same direction.
Yeah.
I had a friend with me in the vehicle, a different person, one of my actual good friends in the vehicle. And he was, he was doing some trades for me while we were driving on Bittrex. And so when I got pulled over, they ended up seizing all my stuff. And they were making jokes, essentially, that having cryptocurrency makes you an international drug dealer.
Okay,
So you're
okay. Slow
obviously
down for a
crazy,
moment
right?
here. You said this was Kansas where this happened?
Yep, it was Kansas.
Was this the federal government or the Kansas state government?
State Highway Patrol is what pulled me over.
All right, I want to hear more of your story. If you can stick with us, I want to bring you back here. Joe, do you have time for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, hang on here. I want to find out, how did the state patrol find out you had cryptocurrency to begin with, is my first question. There's more coming up here. Or was this like an investigation that they were conducting on you? This is Free Talk Live.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Shop online and support Free Talk Live. Every purchase you make at shop.freetalklive.com helps spread a message of liberty. From shop.freetalklive.com, you can shop at places like Walmart, Newegg, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Omaha Steaks, HostGator, and more. Plus, you can get discounts on web hosting, legal documents, or pretty much anything using saveatpurse.com. Just bookmark the link and help Free Talk Live while shopping online. Thank you for shopping with shop.freetalklive.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can join us here toll-free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. Our Skype username is lrn.fm. Plus, I do want to let you know about Dash. It's digital cash. If you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, check out Dash.org. It's a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, transactions are quick, and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash, and they can earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today and find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org, find out why. There, we got Joe on the line. He's calling us from Florida, recapping a situation that you had with the Kansas State Police, who you say pulled you over and somehow discovered that you had Bitcoin or were selling Bitcoin, and then ultimately that led to charges, but we hadn't gotten much further than the pullover. So can you take it from there?
Yeah. Well, beginning, my buddy texted me. The first vehicle that was pulled over, he ended up getting the shit kicked out of him.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio. I got to hit the dump button. Because we did ask you to call in, I'm going to give you the chance to not get hung up on. But I apologize. We are doing a radio show here. Normally, our rule is one violation and you're done. But I'm gonna hold on to you here, Joe. I hope that you can not say certain words that start with S or F or C if we move ahead with this. Can you please not do that?
Yes.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no
Okay,
problem.
great. Go ahead and continue your story.
So he got beat up by the officer for asking him to get a warrant or to use his dog. Later, I find out that the reason I got pulled over is they radioed in because he texted me and to pull my vehicle over because we were literally.
So they got into his phone. Just to be clear, they got into your friend's phone after beating him up. And then they found your phone number because he had texted you, and they somehow knew that you were also on the same road?
To an extent, we were, heading the same direction. We were in Colorado near around the same time. And so we were just heading that way. I'm trying to keep it as vague as possible because situations.
Yep.
And then later I was pulled over. They're like, when we searched the vehicle, I was like, I don't really have anything to hide, so I prefer not to. They're like, can you show your insurance? I'm like, sure. Eventually they're like, all right, we need to talk to you guys. And I was like, okay, now I'm getting a little confused why I was being put over in the first place. So they ended up saying my buddy was trading earlier, but when we got out of the car, he left that open, left my ledger sitting right there, my laptop, because I was pulling some stuff off of Bittrex, and I was going to move it to my phone later. Oh,
So hold on, just to clarify, you had a buddy in your car. He was on your laptop doing some Bitcoin or cryptocurrency trading on an exchange called Bittrex, but he left the laptop open during the pullover, so the police had access to it?
They tried to. I think they, very shortly after it got closed. I don't think they realized the people that they brought like 12 officers to the scene, and they ended up closing it later. But they just grabbed my ledger. They grabbed my phone. I get taken in and interrogated. They're making jokes about cryptocurrency, drug dealing, and stuff like that.
I'm sorry to interrupt again here. What were you taken in for? Were there criminal charges? Were you arrested for something?
I got detained, and then they wouldn't tell me what I was being charged with. I was sat there from 5 p.m. till about 2 a.m., them trying to just question me, having me answer questions about stuff I had no relevance to. They eventually threw me into a jail. I was held there for 2 weeks before they filed any charges at all. The next 2 days later, they refused to let me see an attorney. Then they gave me a $100,000 cash bond.
For what charge?
Without any charges. With no charges at this point. When I was first given a bond, I had 0 charges.
Wow. I mean, the justice system is crazy. I've never even heard of something like that before, but okay, tell me more.
Oh, being denied an attorney for the first, week and a half was annoying enough. Thankfully, I finally started remembering enough phone numbers to get an attorney in there and demand that I had a real bail hearing, not being dragged around in chains to a video room, being told I had a bond for $100,000 cash and no charges filed, but there may be a charge filed at some point.
What happened to your buddy who was in the car with you when you were getting arrested?
He got arrested as well. They later tried to make it. They gave him the same reason. There was no charges for the first 2 weeks. The other person that got beat up didn't get charged till about 5 days after I got out. So I got out the very end of October, very beginning of November, and he got charged a little bit after that.
So then you acquired an attorney, and what developed from that?
They had said they were pending charges on conspiracy, possession of cannabis, which I didn't have any. They said there was a conspiracy because of cryptocurrency, was what they were alleging, which that ended up being dropped. So they're just holding everything now till January.
What are they holding until January? Your stuff?
My Nano Ledger, my phone, a bunch of other random things of mine for evidence.
So you aren't being charged with anything right now? They dropped all the charges?
No, they're trying to charge me with possession. That's what their reasoning is.
Possession of
holding all my
cannabis.
stuff. Yes, which I had none of.
So they planted it, is what you're suggesting, perhaps?
Nope. They didn't find a single bit of it in the vehicle I was in. They're charging me because I know somebody who had cannabis in another vehicle.
So because they are communicating, that constitutes some sort of conspiracy, apparently.
Wow.
Correct. But they dropped conspiracy, they left possession.
How did they get into your phone? How did they get into your phone?
They never got into my phone as far as I know until they must have got a warrant for it, because they ended up later getting into my Pixel, which kind of blew my mind, because I ended up seeing logins on my Gmail, logins on my Facebook and stuff when I was already, when I was still sitting inside. So somehow they were able to get into a warrant for that. But they ended up dropping possession of a communications device, which in Kansas, mind you, you can get arrested for technically having a phone. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. So owning a phone can technically give you a Class 1 misdemeanor in that state.
It's crazy. Yeah. This is a crazy story. Thank you for sharing it with us here tonight. I guess, so it sounds like what the real problem was, your friend didn't have any kind of way to, or he didn't lock his phone, it sounded like, because that's how they found your text messages in the first place, to be able to know where you were, that you were planning on meeting this guy, because he was arrested first or pulled over first. And you say they saw the text messages. Well, if the dude had a lock on his phone, they wouldn't have been able to see any of the text messages, and it should have ended there. So
I think he was trying to video him, because when we got in, he came in much later. He was hospitalized first. They ended up cracking his cheekbone, bruising and cracking a few ribs, all for telling him to get a search warrant. And then, so that he was going to try to videotape it. The moment he started videoing, the cops, from what I understood, sucker punched him and ripped him out of the car through the window.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, if you're dealing with rogue cops like that, all bets are off. Anything can happen. He's lucky to get away with his life in that case. Joe, thanks for the call tonight. Thanks for sharing that. If you ever want to update us on your situation, we'd love to hear about it in the future. I'm glad to hear they dropped the conspiracy charge against you. So at least in that case, he wasn't arrested, or the charges didn't stick for the crypto stuff.
Yeah, he spent quite a lot.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to gcnwellness.com. Just like it sounds, gcnwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click gcnwellness.com.
Fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. I'm talking thick, meaty, center-cut presidential bacon. Savory and delicious. I buy some, I use some, I store some. Awesome. No refrigeration needed with a 10-year shelf life. NASA pack technology. Bacon. Fully cooked, fully hydrated, ready to eat right from the packed bacon. Or warm and served. Life-saving, ready-to-eat bacon. 10-year shelf life bacon. Ships free at fullycookedbacon.com. Fullycookedbacon.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and our Skype username is LRN.FM. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Will.
And Mike.
We got more on the Bitcoin front coming up here in moments. We were talking about mining and the Egyptian miners who are trying to avoid detection to some extent by the government there. You can also share your thoughts with us on whatever's on your mind. Let's go to the phones. To the fun, though, we got Robert in Vermont. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Robert.
Cool.
Hey there.
Ian, I know I've asked you, and then I've also asked Daryl this, but I'd like to get see what these other two guys think. Have you guys looked into or tried any of the cannabis coins that are out there, or maybe the hemp coins?
Not personally, no.
You're talking about the cryptocurrencies that are named after
like Potcoin
or cannabis coin or hemp coin.
Right.
Robert, can you back off your phone? It's a little bit blown out. It's hard to kind of hard to understand you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't have it on speakerphone tonight.
Yeah, just kind of back away from it a little bit. So, yeah, you'd called about these things before. There are minor cryptocurrencies in the realm of, the lower pack of, there's 1,000+ different cryptos out there. I think the one that was most popular was Potcoin in like maybe that was in the top 50 or something like that, if I'm recollecting correctly.
Yeah, it's pretty high up there, along with Dogecoin. That's one of the.
Is Dogecoin still in the top 50? That wouldn't surprise me. I would expect,
up, like way up.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I bought $3 worth of Doge, a while ago, and all of a sudden today, it was worth I think $5.23 earlier, and it's at 0.19, and the highest I've ever seen before today was 1.4, and it's normally around 1.1 or 1.2.
All right, so correction, Potcoin is currently ranked at number 126 on the CoinMarketCap.com rankings. This is a coin that is ostensibly designed for somehow assisting people who are selling marijuana through like dispensaries and things like that. Is that right, Robert?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And, I think it's also going to be for, people that need it medically.
What I don't understand with a lot of these coins is what is it that makes it unique? Because right now, if I'm running a medical dispensary, I can already use Dash. I could use Bitcoin Cash. I could use a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that are already very popular in the top 10. Why would anybody want to get involved in one of these small coins that may or may not survive? May or may not be a good investment. I mean, there's a lot of speculation out there with these cryptocurrencies. What is it about Potcoin that you think is interesting?
Well, I mean, if you read through the reviews and stuff like that, and what it talks about, how it operates and stuff, it's really, it really seems very promising.
How long has this been around for? Because I feel like it's been around for a few years. It's not brand new, right?
Potcoin?
Yeah.
I think it's been around for at least 5 to 6 years.
No, it could have been that long.
That I remember.
No, there's no way it could have been that long because Litecoin I don't think came out until like 2013, and it was the first alternative to Bitcoin out there. I mean, I got to say here, it just doesn't seem to me. I'm looking at the Potcoin site, potcoin.com, and I mean, what do I know, right? Like when I first heard about Dash, I was like, oh yeah, Dash, just another Bitcoin competitor. Another Bitcoin's going to be there forever. So, anything can happen. It's certainly possible that Potcoin could rise above 126 where it currently is and come into the top 10, but it just doesn't seem like it's doing anything differently. It's just another version of Bitcoin that they've labeled Potcoin and have marketed it as some sort of solution to the people in the marijuana industry. And I don't see how it's any more of a solution than any other cryptocurrency like Dash or Bitcoin Cash.
Right. I think probably what it is because it represents the use of marijuana, and then it's Dennis Rodman, and
they hired Dennis Rodman to promote it.
Well,
there's credibility.
You always be in all those ads.
Yeah. I don't know, Robert. It's all speculation. I would say to anyone who's thinking about investing in any cryptocurrency, just remember, don't put any money into it that you can't afford to lose completely. And I thank you for the call tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. How do you pick a winner? I mean, because I remember, like, Dash is right now number 5, right? Dash is currently the number 5 cryptocurrency in the world. It's passed up Litecoin. Now, they've kind of been neck and neck for a while, and then one will pass one, the other will pass the other. And
Dash has been past Litecoin as far as
no, it wasn't just a few days ago. Yeah, Litecoin was number 5 a few days. They've been flipping back and forth, 5 and 6, for a while.
But what do you mean by 5 and 6? Like,
so if you go to CoinMarketCap.com, they rank by market cap. So whichever coin has the total value in the market that is highest. So it's Bitcoin, it's Ripple, it's Ethereum, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Dash, and Litecoin. Those are your top 6.
So it's not based on the value per coin then?
No.
Okay.
No, if you
say, whoa, wait a second.
You can go to those sites and you can rank based on the value of the coin, and then you'll get some really weird crap that comes up to the top that would nowhere normally not be near the top just because they don't have very many coins or whatever, and for whatever reason they're just worth a lot. But just remember, whenever you're getting into this stuff, it's always speculation. You don't know what's going to happen with these coins. Most of them, even though Potcoin is saying, hey, we're all about the marijuana industry, is it actually being used by the marijuana industry?
You know, if I was traveling and I had the Pot Wallet mobile app on my phone and I got pulled over,
that's bad.
I think some cops would take a little bit closer look at me versus having some more mundane wallet
Dash or whatever. Yeah, that's a great point. So you might be actually getting yourself into a hotter water, more difficult situation as by your use of Potcoin. So, yeah, what I was going to say, though, was Dash. I remember years ago, it must have been like 2013 or something. I think we were at our first Bitcoin conference ever back in like 2013, and I think it was San Jose, and we interviewed Evan Duffield, who's the founder of Dash. And, of course, my attitude back then was like, oh, there's a zillion altcoins, and, you know, why is this one so special? And of course he explained, well, there's this governance structure, and here's how we're splitting up the mining rewards. I'm like, okay, cool. We interviewed him, as we do. We'll talk to innovators and doers. That didn't mean we agreed or that we were signed on board, right? Like, we interview all kinds of people at these conferences. We aren't investors in their companies, right? And of course, had I certainly could have afforded at that time. Dash was probably less than a penny or something like that. I could have very well afforded to buy, 20 Dash masternodes at that time, had I, seen any kind of value in it. But at that time, Bitcoin was hot, Bitcoin was good, Bitcoin was awesome, and everything else just seemed like a Me Too. And now Dash is number 5 in the world.
Even if there's in the venture capital world with startups, and it's looking at these altcoins is a lot like looking at various tech startups, and a lot of VCs think that they're pros at picking the winners, but the truth is that very few of them are able to pick winners.
Only the market decides.
And what they do is the real winners, they shotgun. They'll shotgun 50 to 100 companies, and one or two of them will become very successful.
The rest of them will lose.
And the rest of them will lose. But you get in there when the equity is very, very cheap.
Yeah.
And you make 10 times more money on the one or two big winners than you put into all the others combined. And so if you actually buy altcoins when they're very, very cheap, most of them are going to fail. Whoopee.
Yeah.
One may become pretty big, and you'll make a whole lot of money.
Then you've got a bunch of them at that point. Yeah, I mean, if I were more of an investor, and I'm not really, I probably would have done stuff like that, like bought up a bunch of these altcoins way back in the day. But I was like, hey, Bitcoin's great. I like Bitcoin. I'm holding Bitcoin. And I could have, but I didn't. So, like I say, I'm not an investor. Even if I was, I can't predict the future, and you shouldn't follow anybody's advice because nobody can predict the future.
Do your own research.
Yeah. The toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom, 855-450-3733. Right now, though, a Potcoin will cost you 16.5 cents, so it's not too expensive to get into it. Whether it works or not is a whole other question. It's Free Talk Live.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish, they'll hold your cards and cash, but they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics, and it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Protect your family this holiday season with affordable leather ID Stronghold wallets and purses. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code PRESENT for a limited time at idstronghold.com. That's coupon code PRESENT, also available at walmart.com, eBay, Amazon, or QVC. idstronghold.com.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free to bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username here is LRN.FM. And if you've been thinking about getting a home security system or maybe one for your office, check out blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's /FTL like Free Talk Live to get yourself the Blink home security system, which is super easy to set up. It's wireless, so you don't have to deal with drilling holes, running wires, setting up pain in the butt DVR systems. This is super easy to do. It's all set up with your wireless enabled device like a smartphone or tablet. That's how you set up the whole system. You pop the batteries in the cams. You plug in the hub. That's the only thing that has a wire on it, and it works very well so far. That's been my experience. You can set each cam as far as like when they operate, when they're looking for motion, and then how long each clip is when they do see some motion, and then they will send those clips to your phone. So if you're not at home or not at the office or whatever and something's happening there, you're going to find out about it. Blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we go to Ralph in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Ralph. Hello, Ralph. Going once. Ralph in New Jersey. Going twice. All right. The toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE. Since we were talking about Bitcoin, I've teased this article on at least two shows, and we haven't even gotten to it yet. So here it is from Rick Falk-Vinge, who you may know as the founder of the Pirate Party, the very successful political party that kind of came out of nowhere within the last few years over in Europe. Was it Sweden, I think, where it got its start?
Yeah, Scandinavia, yeah.
Yeah. So this is his story that he wrote over on his website, falkvinge.net. Toy with the following idea. People with people used to Google searches having been free, instant, and reliable for years, a new Google management decides that a price market should develop for searches, with Google prices suddenly costing of upwards of $20, taking hours to complete and being notoriously unreliable. Does this sound like a good scenario? Does this sound like a recipe for winning? Well, it's what has happened to Bitcoin, the old Bitcoin, under the new management of a company called Blockstream, who keeps insisting against all evidence to the contrary that they're not in charge of Bitcoin. Nobody I know shows off Bitcoin to their friends anymore. It's painfully embarrassing, he says. And I happen to agree. I am one of those people who has been a long-time Bitcoin advocate, an evangelist for Bitcoin, spending a lot of time and money promoting it. The church, the Shire Free Church vending machine here in town, the money that has come into that machine goes back out into promoting Bitcoin in the community. And I'm embarrassed about the fact that I've promoted Bitcoin because it's so bad to use Bitcoin to send these days. The fees are so expensive. It's prohibitively expensive.
It's broken.
Yeah, I would argue that it is broken. It still works in that if you pay enough money into the system, you'll get your transaction through in a decent amount of time.
Yeah,
but you've got to
I'm
pay
not
through the
paying-
nose.
I'm not paying $12 to buy a cheeseburger, man.
Yeah, I just had to pay. I had to move some Bitcoin around tonight. I had to send some Bitcoin to restock the vending machine here in town, and it cost me $5, and that was when I spent half the recommended fee. So there's the recommended fee, which would have cost more than twice that. I sent actually less than half of the recommended fee, and it cost me $5 worth of Bitcoin.
So it'll get
to
there
send that
tomorrow,
Bitcoin.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, I think it might have gotten a confirmation, but you never know.
What was the total amount you were sending?
1 Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember,
but the amount doesn't matter. It depends on where the Bitcoin's coming out of in your wallet as far as how much the fee is going to cost you. So I could have sent 1 Bitcoin, or I could have sent half a Bitcoin. The fee might have been exactly the same, or it might have been more one way or the other.
Well, just a few weeks ago, I bought like $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, and the person I bought it from used a transaction fee about the size of what you would use for Dash.
So like a cent's worth.
Yeah.
That's going to get stuck.
It did.
Yeah.
It got stuck for 5 days, and then they eventually had to send another $1,000 through with a super high fee, and that
pushed it through
both
the system.
Transactions through the system.
At one point, the mempool, which is like
that's where the unconfirmed transactions await confirmation.
Yeah, it was like a week or so ago. It was up to like 175,000 unconfirmed transactions, and just been sitting there for days.
Mm-hmm. That's right after they canceled the split, and when Bitcoin Cash was going absolutely berserk. I made some money during that. That was a really nice time.
Yeah, I totally called that whole episode on my. I did a post on LinkedIn the Thursday before, and it all came right to the prices I was expecting, and people are going, dude, how did you figure that out?
The mempool still is loaded up. I mean, it's down from where it was a week ago.
Where are we at right
Half
now?
a week ago. It's still at 73 megabytes. So that's 73 megabytes of data of transactions that are just sitting out there awaiting confirmation. Everybody that's got transactions in that 73 megabytes, who knows when you're going to get cleared out? It's whenever the network gets around to processing it. So it's messed up, and it is an embarrassment. I totally agree with Rick Falkvinge here. Is that to tell people about Bitcoin is like, I don't want to tell them about Bitcoin. I just sort of want to reference Bitcoin as this important thing that happened at some point in the past that sort of created all these other cool things that now you should be using things like Bitcoin Cash or Dash.
What I do is when I explain Bitcoin to people, I say, do you want to use it as a store of value or as a medium of exchange? So if you want to use it as a store of value, you buy some and you just sit on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to use it for commerce, for sending money to people or something, use
something else.
Use something else like Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin or Dash or whatever, because it's a lot cheaper, a lot faster, and it's just
problem though with that whole just use something else. Where?
You can't for the most part.
Yeah. I would be totally happy if I could go to Save It Purse and just spend Bitcoin Cash. Or
you
spend
can
Dash.
actually, because they have Shapeshift, I believe, built in at SaveItPurse.com.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that before. That is an option.
Yeah.
So yes.
Well, never mind then. I'll just shut up.
I have the Exodus wallet on my computer, and that can do all that. And there's Litecoin on. Even if you're on Coinbase, you can use the Litecoin.
But Will is right though. The market for these other currencies is very limited as far as like where you can spend them.
Can't go to Overstock. Can't go to Newegg.
You can't go to most places that take Bitcoin do not take something else. Now there are some people who are fanatics like Johnson, our co-host on Tuesday nights. He just launched LibertyMinded.com, which is a place where you can go and get Free Talk Live gear. Finally, again, it's been a long time since it's been on the market. It's now available. And he decided he was going to use a company called Coin Payments to accept a variety of cryptocurrencies. So he's taking like a dozen or something. I don't know how many, but like several cryptos there. But you only really find that with people who are crypto nuts, right? Like people who are big fanatics of cryptocurrency in general, and they just want to take as many as they can, and whatever makes the customer happy. Okay, I'll take your Dogecoin. Okay, I'll take your fill in the blank, your Potcoin, or whatever. Because you can convert it after the fact, and that's cool. But as far as like how many businesses that take Bitcoin also take one other crypto, I don't know what the statistic is, but I bet it's a super majority of them do not take anything else except for Bitcoin. Now, it's nice that we're seeing on some Bitcoin like websites like blockchain.info or Coinbase, as you mentioned, Mike, where Coinbase they've got Litecoin and Ether now, do they not?
Yes, they do.
Right. Blockchain added Ether this year, so they have now Bitcoin and Ether, and they're planning on adding Bitcoin Cash. Blockchain.info and Coinbase are two of the world's most popular ways that people store Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And so it's good. We're starting to see some forays into these other alternatives, but it's way early in that whole process. And, as far as point of sale is concerned, it's been just it's just been a dearth. There's been nothing out there as far as just Bitcoin. There aren't even very many point-of-sale companies as far as that make it even possible for point-of-sale to happen.
If I'm not mistaken, the BitPlus point-of-sale system that I had on my show a few weeks ago, they are a multi-currency platform.
Good. Yeah, I was interested in that when I heard you interviewing them. Is that out yet?
Well, there is a store. There's multiple places overseas. There's in Guyana and another one in Nigeria, a couple places in Africa and South America where they have businesses that are using it. But now there's a business in Maine. I can look it up and get the name of it for you while we're on break. That is using their platform as well.
And it's cool. I remember they said it was like $1,000 to get their point of sale system. And maybe there's businesses out there that are looking for a new point of sale and they're willing to make that change because it sounded like a good one.
Yeah.
But for the average business that, let's just say they sunk some money into a Square system or whatever. I don't know how much that costs. Maybe it's free. I don't know. But they've got their own system. They've had it for a while. They're not going to want to change. So a company like BitPay, for instance, is can you take me out? Take out.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to be back. Ian's got a frog call to freedom.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, November 22nd, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.96 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,280 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,174. Antiwar.com reports Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri will be attending the Wednesday Independence Day parade in Beirut after all, having finally arrived in Lebanon on Tuesday evening to end weeks overseas during which his fate had been highly questioned. Even Tuesday, it was not clear what would happen. He visited Egypt earlier in the day as planned, but then detoured last minute to Cyprus when he was supposed to be en route to Beirut, meeting with the Cypriot leader. Hariri resigned earlier this month while in Saudi Arabia, though the Saudis are accused of having forced him to make this announcement, and he promised clarifications now that he's back in Lebanon. That's not likely to be for a day at least, with Independence Day celebrations expected before his meeting with Lebanese President Michael Aoun, and his public statement coming only after that.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
UPI reports Uber revealed Tuesday that hackers accessed the ride-hailing company's database and stole the personal information of 57 million customers and drivers 1 year ago. The breach exposed the names, email addresses, and phone numbers of users around the world, including the driver's license numbers of about 7 million drivers, 600,000 of which were in the United States. The information was accessed through a third-party cloud-based service that Uber uses. The company said no social security numbers, credit card numbers, bank account numbers, birth dates, or trip location data was taken. Uber CEO said the company took immediate steps to shut down the unauthorized access and destroyed downloaded data. Bloomberg reported that Uber paid hackers $100,000 to delete the downloaded data and keep the data breach secret. Though the breach happened late in 2016, Uber first reported the incident nearly 1 year after it took place and fired Chief Security Officer Joe Sullivan and one other employee involved in the aftermath of the data breach. Uber does not believe any of the information was used fraudulently, but said it was monitoring the affected accounts. The company suggested that those affected monitor their credit reports and accounts.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports the U.S. Department of Justice has threatened to sue Harvard University to force it to turn over documents as it investigates whether the Ivy League school's admission policies violate civil rights laws by discriminating against Asian American applicants. The DOJ cited a 2015 lawsuit that charges Harvard's affirmative action policies discriminate against Asian American applicants in a letter setting a December 1st deadline for Harvard to hand over documents on its admission policies. The DOJ is probing the Massachusetts-based school's compliance with Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, according to the letter dated Friday and seen by Reuters. The measure prohibits institutions that receive federal funding from discriminating based on race, color, or national origin. The squabble follows reports that the DOJ had begun an investigation into whether university affirmative action policies broadly discriminate against white applicants. Attorneys for Harvard, in an October 6th letter to the DOJ seen by Reuters, questioned the timing of the probe. Harvard has long maintained that its admission policies are fully compliant with the U.S. law and has worked to increase the amount of financial aid it offers to ensure economic as well as racial diversity in its classes. The school said earlier this year that just over half of the freshmen admitted in 2017 were women, more than 1 in 5 were Asian, and almost 15% were African American. The Supreme Court has ruled universities may use affirmative action with the aim of helping minority applicants get into college. Some conservatives had said that in helping African American and Latino applicants, affirmative action can hurt white and Asian American applicants. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Big tech news this week as Microsoft has unveiled its new generation Xbox One. Designers say the console's revolutionary new voice command feature makes it easier than ever for the Xbox to control its users. According to Microsoft spokesman Don Matrick, quote, "The Xbox One is programmed with a host of simple voice commands that you will respond to instantly. In addition to phrases like jump, shoot, and insert game disc, users will also understand more complicated instructions like download Call of Duty Update or come into the room and turn on Xbox."
The Xbox One tells us what games to play, what music to listen to, what shows to watch. Watch TV. And with that simple command, I'm watching live TV.
The new Xbox's high-tech sensors can also detect your expression and tell when you're looking away from the television.
Andy, look back at the TV.
Microsoft says the new Xbox can also command you using your smartphone or tablet. TechBuzz is raving, quote, "It's the immersive obedience experience we've been waiting for."
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype as well, and that Skype username for you is LRN.FM. As we are continuing here into hour number 3 of this Thanksgiving Eve edition of the show, we, by the way, are going to be live on Thanksgiving Day. So for those of you who would love to listen to Free Talk Live while you enjoy the company of family, what better time?
After I fill your belly.
There you go. So you can join us tomorrow and throughout every holiday. I mean, Free Talk Live is here really 365 days a year. We're always live.
More than Waffle House.
Are they closed on
one day a year?
Really, which day? Christmas?
It's either New Year's Day or Christmas Day. One
okay.
Or the other.
All right.
They're closed one day a year.
So you can join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Ian, Will, and Mike in the studio here. I was sharing a story from Rick Falkvinge, who is the creator of the Pirate Party. Well-known individual there in the cryptocurrency universe as well. And he actually was at the Anarchapulco event that we were at and had the chance to interview him in real life. But as he says here in his blog over at falkvinge.net, he says, "Nobody I know shows off Bitcoin, that is Bitcoin Legacy, a.k.a. Bitcoin Core, sort of the BTC as you see it around, to their friends anymore. It's painfully embarrassing. Nobody I know uses Bitcoin for anything anymore, for the reason that transactions take hours to complete, cost upwards of $20. He says, my last 2 transactions cost $30 and $70 respectively, and have been made unreliable by design through something called replace by fee. He says, when I got into Bitcoin in 2011, transactions were free, reliable, and instant. Not free as in very cheap, but actually free. The vast majority of transactions did not pay a transaction fee, and this was also Satoshi Nakamoto's original intention, according to email archives. Now, Satoshi Nakamoto, for those that don't know, is the anonymous creator of Bitcoin, which was released to the world back in 2009. So again, he's saying he got into it back in 2011. He says it makes sense. You want to be able to write code that optimizes your money across addresses and databases without paying a lot of transaction fees in the process, just for moving your own data around. It was extremely useful at that time. It was amazingly cool to show off. And we've talked a lot about Bitcoin over the years, and I've been a huge fan of it, and that's why it's so hard to see what's happening to Bitcoin happen to it, where it has turned into this very difficult, very slow, very expensive system. It's tragic, really. He goes on to say, around 2014, a couple of people hijacked Bitcoin for all intents and purposes, stripped the original known coder, Gavin Andresen, who's a Free Talk Live listener, by the way. He's one of the guys, he actually is the original guy who introduced us to it. He actually came up here to Keene. We went to Thai Garden on Main Street, and he sat down and kind of talked to me and Mark about Bitcoin, answered some of our questions about it, and then he gave Mark, I think, 27 Bitcoin.
Nice.
After that. And the reason why was he told Mark he would buy us lunch. So Mark paid cash, and he got a bunch of Bitcoin in response. And this was like probably 2011. So
27 Bitcoin.
Maybe it was more than 27 Bitcoin. I don't know. He got a lot.
Wow.
He got a lot of Bitcoin. So they stripped Gavin of his coding access privileges and then set out in a new direction. Bitcoin transactions should cost money, they decided. A lot of money. Because the network wasn't sustainable otherwise. Never mind that it had worked just fine up until that point with sub-cent optional transactions and was planned to do so for another 140 years. This company was called Blockstream, and they were met with such fierce opposition from the community, they literally had to start deleting every post off of the Bitcoin forums, Bitcoin Talk, Reddit's r/Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin mailing list that challenged the narrative that it was utterly moronic to deliberately congest the network to make it slow, unreliable, and expensive. And this is sort of this is the crux of some of the debate within the Bitcoin community. Of one side says, well, Bitcoin's always been, up until the last year or so, very affordable, very cheap, very quick. There's no reason why it shouldn't continue to do that. And then there's this other side that's like, well, we need to limit the block size so we can come up with other solutions to expand Bitcoin's network capacity. Because basically it's full at the moment. The Bitcoin network is loaded up. You mentioned, Mike, earlier the mempool, which is over 70 megabytes right now. That's a lot of transactions. I mean, these transactions are generally 200 and something bytes. So 70-something, I don't know how many transactions that is, but that's a lot.
Well, a block is 1 megabyte in size, and there's an average of about 2,000 transactions per block. So that comes out to somewhere around 140,000 transactions.
So Reddit, so again, they had to go in to delete posts because they didn't want people talking about the other side of this. Yes, it's just so happens, says Falkvinge, that the people who formed this Blockstream company also were the ones controlling all of the discussion platforms. Slowly, over years of influx of new users, people would only see Blockstream's message of how good it is that transactions are expensive, slow, and unreliable. It was around this point that new forums, such as Bitcoin.com's forum and the new Reddit r/BTC, started to pop up and get attention and become a refuge of sorts. And this is, by the way, still happening to this day. There are examples, if you go to the Reddit /r/BTC, which is the uncensored forum, supposedly, and you look there, people will post about their posts that have been deleted from r/Bitcoin. And the r/Bitcoin mods are just deleting wholesale anything that sort of questions the status quo of Bitcoin, basically. So there's just been straight up...
And doesn't Blockstream own the Lightning Network technology?
I've heard that. I don't know.
So what you're saying is they centralized Bitcoin.
They did.
And now it sucks.
Yeah, they took it over and they basically prohibited it from
they
expanding.
turned themselves into the Federal Reserve.
Well,
basically.
It's they are claiming that they have the solution, and that's why you'd ask the question, is their Lightning Network owned by Blockstream? I've heard that it is, and I've heard that it isn't, so I don't know what the truth is there. I've heard that this Blockstream company has some sort of patented solution they want to bring in to lower transaction fees so they get all the fees or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the real story is there, but it definitely Bitcoin is messed up. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But the Blockstream fanboys were undeterred. Look at how Bitcoin rises in value, they would say. Who cares about transaction fees? It's a store of value because the price goes up. This narrative, he says, also completely ignores what an economic store of value is. It's a predictable, stable store. This, of course, is the equivalent of, quote, who cares about if Google is the slightest bit useful under the new management? Who cares if anybody uses Google anymore? Look how the stock keeps going up. And this is really, I think, poignant because, yeah, it's so strange looking at Bitcoin being in the shape that it's in right now, where it's hard to send a fee for less than $5 and have it confirm in a decent amount of time. And it's slow and it's expensive, and looking at all these problems that it has, but yet here we are at record highs of $8,300 today, 82 something, close to 8,300.
I do need to challenge Falk Vinger's assertion that Satoshi had never intended there to be transaction fees like this. It was always in the plan that as the block rewards of newly minted coins decreased over time, that would be made up for by transaction fees.
Yeah, that's true, but they don't have to be what they are. I mean,
no, they don't.
1 cent transaction fees would have been plenty of transactions.
But at the same time, there's actually no reason why they cannot adjust things like in terms of block generation times being quicker or block size. A lot of these things that they are treating as if it's a holy writ are not really that set in stone.
The toll-free number tonight is 855-450-FREE like freedom. A little more from Falk Vinge here on the situation with Bitcoin, the embarrassing situation with Bitcoin. But the good news is cryptocurrency is here to stay. Whether Bitcoin stays on top or not is ultimately immaterial to the success of the idea of cryptocurrency.
Long live altcoins.
There's more on the way here. You can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
The young lady from the rescue delivered happy, and I panicked. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, and I thought, what did I get us into? The cause of his issue was poor nutrition. It was neglect. The other owners didn't care enough about him to give him the nutrition he needed. But I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite, DINOVITE.com. I ordered the first 90-day supply, and within a couple weeks, his skin started clearing up. He didn't smell. He had more energy. He just had a glow and a bounce about him. We've been using Dinovite for the last year, and Happy the rescue dog is Happy the healthy dog. I tell all my friends who have rescues to give their dog the chance at a new start with Dinovite. It's going to pay off for you and your dog for years to come.
859-428-1000. 859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. Thanksgiving Eve edition of the show. Of course, you can take control of the airwaves here. We're talking about the sad state of Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Core, as you might want to call it these days, because it's not the original Bitcoin anymore. It's been changed since Bitcoin was what it was when we were getting into it, back here when we first heard about it in 2011 and 2012, that range. It is no longer what it was back then. It's slow, it's expensive, and it's problematic from that aspect. But yet, it's still the number one cryptocurrency in the world. I think it's coasting. I feel like Bitcoin is coasting on its popularity, on the fact that it is the most recognizable cryptocurrency. People, if you ask them about it, they know it exists. They may not know any of the background. They may not know what's wrong with it today, but they've heard about it. They might have seen some news article about Bitcoin or some television presentation about it that says, wow, Bitcoin, look at these prices. It's going up, and then they look at the price chart, and sure enough, it's gone up over 1,000% in the last 12 months. So there is definitely still a lot of excitement, understandably, about Bitcoin. But Falkvinge here, Rick Falkvinge at falkvinge.net, he's saying, well, what if Google was taken over with new management and Google said, all right, well, searches, which used to be free and fast, are now going to take 20 minutes or they're going to take hours, and they're going to cost $20. How's that going to fly with the marketplace?
Okay, well, here's a prime example right here. I've got my Changelly open. I want to move some Bitcoin Gold.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get some Bitcoin with it. Now, if I want to buy some Bitcoin Gold with Bitcoin, it costs me, for a $150 transaction, costs me about $11.
Just for the transaction fee?
Just for the transaction fee, not the
conversion.
Or any of the rest of that, no. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, if I'm converting, though, the other direction from Bitcoin Gold into Bitcoin, my transaction fee for a $157 transaction is $0.0048 US.
Wow. 0.004, so a fourth of a penny.
Almost a fifth.
Yeah. Fifth of a penny.
We'll round up because it's an 8. So
that's a huge discrepancy.
Yeah.
So
versus $11 for the same exact transaction in the opposite direction.
So the question is, he gives a really cool example with this Google example. People wouldn't put up with that. If Google took a long time to give you search results and started charging for it, everybody would jump to whatever other searches there are out there. Yahoo, is Alta Vista still out there? I don't know, but I'd go and try them again to see if they were still there. There's got to be something else out there. They would jump quickly. But in the world of Bitcoin, if you've got Bitcoin and the price is going up, you don't exactly want to get out of it, right? You want to hold on for the ride and see where the ride ends. And then maybe get out if you have time to get out at that point, wherever that is. But ultimately, the question is, how long before the marketplace figures this out? How long before the whole market that's pouring money into Bitcoin as though this ride's never going to end, how long until they figure out that Bitcoin is slow and Bitcoin is expensive? Because just buying into it, you won't necessarily notice, right? It's when you try to spend the Bitcoin is when you start seeing the transaction fees.
And that's where you get the difference between a store of value and a medium of exchange.
But can it continue to be a store of value when the market figures out it's not a medium of exchange anymore?
Yes.
But why would it be when there are a dozen other currencies that can do the exact same thing, which can store value and be a currency?
It's Gresham's law. I mean, look at what happened with gold and silver money.
Mm-hmm.
You have fiat money pushes sound money out of the market.
Right.
And so if you have something that's effective as a medium of exchange, is automatically going to become more utilitarian and more useful to people, whereas something that is more of a store of value is going to see that and shift more towards emphasizing its store of value characteristics.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you and disagree with you as far as like gold and silver are a good analogy, but for a different reason. Gold is a good store of value. It's a horrible medium of exchange.
That's true.
Because of the massive value of it. Silver is, I think, a good store of value because the value is usually fairly stable, but it's a lot easier because it's smaller to use as a medium of exchange.
There's a lot more of it out there.
So Bitcoin is now become gold as far as like the currency world. Bitcoin is now gold.
And you could argue that
overinflated price, horrible to be able to use as a currency.
And it's already got an established, popular thing. Like gold's popular, people have it. They've had it for, generations.
Yeah. Now the argument is who becomes silver. Who is it? Whose network becomes
I don't know.
silver?
Well,
whose network becomes the easiest, that is a stable
Bitcoin Cash, Dash,
a stable holder of the value.
A lot of people have said that
currency.
Litecoin is silver to Bitcoin's gold.
They said that when Litecoin came out.
Yeah,
that was because Litecoin was first, and Litecoin still is coasting on that to some extent. But what has Litecoin really done since then? I mean, besides being second to market in the first altcoin, the first competitor to Bitcoin? Because I remember when Litecoin came out, we started taking it on Free Talk Live. We're like, we got the Bitcoin. You go to bitcoin.freetalklive.com. There's a Bitcoin address there. I think there's a Dash address there. We used to have a Litecoin address there, but nobody donated in a long time, so I took the thing down because nobody, cares about Litecoin anymore. But back when it came out, we were saying, it's the silver to Bitcoin's gold. That was what everybody was saying about it, but it just never really lit the world on fire.
So now we get to see the street fight between Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin Gold. Because
Bitcoin Gold isn't even a contender.
How do you know? I don't know.
Not yet.
I don't know.
Not yet.
Because they just had some major problems with their code come out because the developer had put some secret code in there that gave himself transaction fees from people's transactions.
Yeah, he was funneling transaction fees into his own account.
So the Woo guy that I heard?
I don't know what his name
was like,
is.
Hey, watch out. Don't buy anything that he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just installed the Bitcoin Gold software here, which is risky, right? Because I don't know what's in that software. Has it been audited? Are there people who have actually checked over the code to see if it's going to steal your private keys or something like that? I mean, this could all just be some big private key stealing process. But Bitcoin Gold, while it has done all right as far as its price, it was as high as like $400 just the other day. It is still like one of the lower tier currencies. It's not.
It's slow.
It's not a. Is it slow?
Litecoin's faster.
Okay.
It's slow.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
It's like hour-long transactions.
Yeah,
but
well,
I mean,
I'm surprised
regular Bitcoin, it's like 7 hours. So I mean, you know,
I'm surprised that more people aren't using Litecoin actually. I always was kind of skeptical of a lot of the altcoins, and then as I was raising capital for my company, one of my angels came up and he just sent me a whole bunch of Litecoin. I'm like, wow, right. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I took my Litecoin and I changed it into Ether a while back.
We've been almost a whole segment since I sent the transaction, and I'm still.
And which transaction did you send?
From Bitcoin Gold to Bitcoin.
I see.
And the Bitcoin Gold deposit hasn't made yet.
The toll-free number here.
15 minutes already.
Yeah, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Falk Vinge isn't done yet, though. We'll share more of his thoughts coming up here on the sad state of the Bitcoin technology. There's more on the way. You can take control of the airwaves, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. If you want to join us, it's Free Talk Live.
Cady Armor has been on a mission to manufacture the most comfortable body armor on the market, and we've succeeded. With the release of our CQB technology, we now offer the most comfortable concealable rifle threat body armor available. Things may look good now, but what if you need added protection? Get your very own concealable rifle threat armor today at cadyarmor.com. And for a limited time, get all plates at wholesale pricing only at catiarmor.com.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live, and you may join us on the radio. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. In the studio with you tonight, it's Ian,
Will,
and Mike.
Don't forget, you can join us online. Just head over to freetalklive.com and enjoy the features that we share with you there. You can sign up for our email newsletter, by the way. It's one of the myriad of free things that we offer you at freetalklive.com. The sign-up box is right there on the front page, kind of toward the middle center top of the page or the site. Go to freetalklive.com. You can get signed up for our email newsletter there. We send out usually one per week to keep you in the loop with what's going on with Free Talk Live. Let's go to the phones, to the fun. Rico is on the line in Oklahoma. Rico, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
I'm in the Arklatex. It's where Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, and Oklahoma come together.
Arklatex.
Arklatex.
Cool. I never heard of that.
Yeah. And stubborn. You want to see meet some stubborn people. People of the Arklatex are stubborn, but God bless them.
All right.
Look, all right. I want y'all to ask me either one or both of these two questions: why I'm not an amper, or why I don't send the money in. And what can be learned by studying two English-speaking islands.
Why are you not an amper?
Well, it's because even though the stance I get from y'all, and I've been with y'all since Julia,
okay,
the coolest woman ever. That's how long I hadn't looked it up, but it's been a long time. But the coolest woman ever since Julia. And you talk about, well, come on through, no border, just come on through, but we're not going to have welfare.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to work.
What's not going to work?
Well, there could be a slow invasion if you take that that stance. Just come on through, but we're not going to give you welfare.
A slow invasion of who?
Whoever. If it's just everybody, there's no line. Yeah.
So what you're saying is...
I was in the grocery store the other day, and I didn't see anybody that wasn't from Mexico.
Okay, so let me see if I'm following you. What you're saying is you believe that open borders, the freedom to travel, will result in a slow invasion of some horde of people that you don't really know who it would be, but you believe that it would happen, and therefore something bad would occur.
Well, looking at the history of mankind, that's not a far-fetched idea.
Why would whatever that invasion resulted in be worse than what we have today, which is a total police state?
Well, I think because we lack of control. I'm not saying stop anybody.
So you want a true police state? You want to?
No. We'll phase that out. That's coming. Okay, that's already a thing that's fixing to happen to the population.
Yeah, it's already here. But you want to stop people from coming across the border.
Okay.
No, I don't.
You don't.
No, you're absolutely wrong. No, come on through. We just want to take your picture or get your name, whatever you want to say your name is, and what day you came in. That's it.
That's all you want. You want to roll back, get rid of the Border Patrol, and just have a little check-in station where folks give their name and take a picture, huh?
Yeah, and all the information comes to me. I'll run a program, and every 30 seconds I'll tell you what percentage of who is coming across the border, just for that reason.
So you want to be in charge, is what you're saying. You want to run the program.
Yeah, I want to be in charge of that. I do.
Yeah.
It'll be
now,
open
would you
book,
be able to say
ledger.
no?
I'm not going to rip any money off.
Now, would you tell? Now, Rico, would you, when you're looking at all the pictures of the people who are coming and they're saying, I want to move here. Here's my picture, my name. Would you be able to deny them access if you didn't like the way they looked?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Just want to know what's really happening. Then you have some form of control where people get together and it's like they do in voting, but I'm not talking about voting, but People get together, and the will of the people comes out.
Now, what is the control that you're
says-
talking about? Because obviously,
Well, have you heard of do you know what a zeitgeist is?
the movie or the spirit of the times?
No, it's a word that goes way back, and it's
Yeah,
called
it means the spirit of the times.
the spirit of the people of the times.
Okay.
Spirit of the people, not the spirit of the pine trees
Whatever.
or the rock.
Whatever, dude.
Well, okay, I'm just saying it's the spirit of the people that makes the whole thing move and go around and flute out anyway. So I mean, come on, give the merit where it's due there. But what I'm trying to say is the other question.
Well, hold on. Before you get to the other question, I want to understand your vision here, because it's better than what we got today. I mean, there's no doubt what you're talking about is better than what we have today. Right now, there's a huge border patrol bureaucracy that stops people from coming in. They demand information. They demand information about citizenship. They stop people inside the United States. So you're saying get rid of all that and just have it so that people can come in just by taking a picture and giving their name.
Exactly,
Okay.
and all the information
That's much more
feeds
reasonable.
to me. And my fourth bedroom will be set up as an office to keep a track, just so we'll know what percent. If people want to lie, I mean, they say they're from Honduras, and you can tell absolutely that they're from Ethiopia.
How would you be able to tell that?
Because Ethiopians
Well,
look different.
they look different.
Hondurans.
Well, maybe you just
real.
make a subcategory Ethiopian background.
But
Doesn't
you
matter.
wouldn't know necessarily that the
No, you
person
wouldn't
was
know.
from Ethiopia or some other place in Africa.
You
or
wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. But look, I want to run the thing. But look,
You
the
want to run the whole
overarching
program.
question- Well,
This is
the
so
computer
silly.
will
Hey,
be
man,
open
as
to
long
any.
as he's not charging people $8,000 like we had to pay.
I'm not charging
What's it
anybody
cost? You're not going to
anything.
charge? Is it no
I'm
no
going to do
charge?
like Jerry Lewis. At the end of the first year, I'm going to tap dance on somehow, podcasts or maybe just audio, and say, hey, look, here's what I did with last year's money. And show everybody what I did with the money.
So
You know,
like buying some
15,
beer
30
and
minutes.
buy a little bit of weed? Because you're just
There
sitting
will-
back
no,
looking at
there-
pictures of
no,
immigrants
the
all
funds
day.
will never be used for that. If the funds are ever used for that,
Pay off
I'm,
sexual assault victims like the Congress.
ordering people that want to come hit me with a styrofoam shovel
Be nice.
on my back. Okay.
Do you want people to hit you with a styrofoam shovel on your back? Why?
No, I want
If
no.
he
What I
uses
want
the
now
money
is
for
for the
drugs.
next
Oh, I
year
see.
on that pledge drive number 1.
Basically,
People
he's
go,
saying,
look at what he did with the money we gave him. God, this guy is superhuman. Give him some more money. So just like Jerry Lewis.
All right, I got you,
You know,
Rico.
3
Let's move on
days.
to your second
You know how many
question.
people will be watching our
Yeah.
I
telethon
love
right
that
now? We
idea.
can get this right.
Let's
And here-
fund everything in government with telethon. I think Trump should fund the
not a
border
bad
wall
idea.
with a
There you
telethon. There we go.
I
No,
would
but I
be
need
concerned
wall.
that he would raise a whole lot of money that way.
Well,
you
at
know?
least the people that
It'd be
want it would be
voluntary.
the ones that are
Yeah.
paying for
Yeah,
it.
true.
All right, Rico, what
Well,
was
that-
your second question? Something about learning about island people?
There's these islands. They speak English as what they call it. 2 of the Channel Islands.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Jersey
kind
and
of-
Guernsey. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. If one would study how they handle their expenditures into the economy, it's absolute perfection. And also, there's a subclass of people who get checks from that account, say the project manager's account to build a little small dam on a little small, almost a river, but not quite a river, So
I don't
they
know
do
what you're
that.
talking
Open
about.
up a ledger and start, sending the guy, and then everybody on down from him will get paid. Pay them every day. And what that does, that makes people become math wizards in an awesome amount of short time.
So let me see if I understood
When
you,
they
because
get
it can be a
paid
little
every
hard to
day.
follow you, Rico. You're new to the show. I'm a little bit new to kind of figuring out what you're saying here. You're saying that on these
I've
islands,
been with y'all since Julia.
that's cool, man. But it's the first time I recall hearing from you. So
That's another reason I didn't amp anymore. If she never came about 4 years, she didn't amp. I mean, she didn't come back, so I said, no, she's not coming back.
whatever,
no
man.
amp.
It's all good. We're still here with or without you.
Ever,
So-
and y'all let her go.
Thank you, Rico, for the call tonight. I'm gonna let you go now. Bye bye. Anyway, so it sounded like what he was saying was because they pay their workers every day, that makes them have to do math, and so therefore that's good for the economy. I don't know.
I
the best
was
I could do with
completely lost through that whole call.
Yeah, that's the best I could do.
About half.
All right, so toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE.
Still better than Ricky.
I'll give him that. 855-450-3733. We got time for you.
You got a problem with Ricky? You got a problem with me.
If you want to get in right now, you might be able to get on in the remaining moments of this Thanksgiving Eve edition.
Just a problem understanding.
It's Free Talk Live. More coming up, 855-450-3733, or Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
If your dog has shedding, dry skin, excessive scratching, I would recommend Dynovite.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dynovite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dynovite.
Dynovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Back pain doesn't take vacations. It never celebrates holidays. It's on the job 24/7 to keep your life exactly where it is, in limbo. But it doesn't have to be that way, because Laser Spine Institute can help you take back your life from chronic neck and back pain. With a less than 1-inch incision, our minimally invasive procedures have provided relief to over 60,000 patients with a 97% patient satisfaction rate. So get ready to stand tall and live the life you've imagined for yourself without pain. Are you or a loved one suffering from a bulging disc, herniated disc, spinal stenosis, pinched nerve, or degenerative disc disease? Call our spine care consultants now at
855-510-BACK.
for a no-cost MRI review and to learn more. It's time to say goodbye to chronic neck and back pain.
Call 855-510-BACK to see if laser spine surgery is right for you. That's 855-510-BACK.
What have you got to lose? Laser Spine Institute, the leader in minimally invasive spine surgery.
This is the Onion Week in Review. In light of reports this week of a Russian crime ring stealing 1.2 billion username and password combinations from internet users, experts from top security firms across the country reportedly advised Americans to refrain from clicking on anything at all. The nation's top security specialists warned individuals to actively avoid any scrolling or swiping on the internet, and further urged Americans, as an added precaution, to steer clear of buttons, keyboards, and computer screens altogether. In other news, an employer botches a job interview. A date's flaws are coming at a woman faster than she can rationalize them, and a going out of business sign thanks a neighborhood for 3 months of no support whatsoever. Whether or not this video news summary eased the pain of your existence, you can now take solace in the fact that you're a few minutes closer to departing this meaningless world. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. We got a few moments remaining here on this Thanksgiving Eve edition of the program. The toll-free number if you want to join us is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you here tonight, it's Ian,
Will,
and Mike.
As we continue with your calls and thoughts, we go to Stefan. He's in Ohio on Skype. Go ahead, Stefan.
Hey, I'd like to get into an article I was reading over. I was reading over the 9 o'clock news.
Okay.
There was a study that came out from the Highway Loss Data Institute, apparently, that determined that the number of vehicle collisions reported to insurance companies in Colorado, Oregon, and Washington was actually 3% higher than what would have been expected if the states had not made it legal to buy and use pot recreationally.
Uh-huh.
And the Institute's senior vice president had said that he had received very strong evidence supporting this. Now, the article is actually very vague with it, but I've never personally used marijuana. Do you think it's possible that maybe using marijuana could impair your driving abilities?
It's possible, sure. The evidence suggests it doesn't really, though,
It actually suggests the opposite.
It makes you more careful and slower driving.
Yeah, people become kind of they become a little paranoid, and they actually take extra care and pay more attention because they're afraid they might be impaired.
Because they know they could be impaired.
Yeah.
They, unlike a drunk, that the more you put into alcohol, you put in the drunk, the more they think they can drive better.
Yeah.
The person who's a marijuana user is aware of how much they've smoked. They're aware of their relative impairment compared to normal, if any, and they can much more accurately assess whether or not it is safe for them to get behind the wheel. If they do get behind the wheel, they frequently compensate by, as you were saying, Mike, being more careful while they're driving and extra paranoid.
Where the real increase in driving accidents and deaths right now is because of the texting while driving.
For sure.
In states that are even passing legislation against texting while driving, it's still going up. And because
they do it anyway.
They do it anyway. They do it below the dash.
Yeah, and then they have to try to hide it.
Yeah. And it's there needs to be some new technologies that allow people to interact without having to focus on the phone, and it may involve integrating with some sort of heads-up display on the windshield, or I don't know.
That's coming.
Yeah,
that's got to be coming at some point. But is the concern here, Stefan? Are they actually trying to suggest that it's marijuana-related car accidents, or are they just trying to kind of extrapolate that and say this correlates with this?
It suggests that it is just in the states that have legalized marijuana. So what this study seems to be suggesting is that, if you have marijuana in your system, you're more likely to be a little drowsy. Maybe that paranoia could lead you to be on edge and maybe freak out at the smallest thing. I do think that his name's Mike, right?
Mike is here.
Yep.
Okay. I do think Mike brought up a good point that it is more of a problem with nationwide with cell phones. And there are some states that have taken serious measures on that. Every time I travel into Maryland, we have to remember, don't use the cell phone at all, because they will not let you use one under any circumstances. Not texting, not even holding it up to your face. You have to have a Bluetooth or use some sort of text-to-speech program.
Yeah, we passed a law like that here in New Hampshire, and it hasn't helped one bit. In fact, the accident rate's gone up even faster.
I think that's a different issue entirely, because we live in a day and age where people just can't keep their eyes off of these smart devices, and they're constantly plugged into them. But I think that's a different issue altogether. But I do think that would affect the way that people act on the road.
So this is one of those things where certain people have agendas that they're pushing, and you can find claims on both sides. So a quick Google results in an article from civilized.life saying that car accidents are on the rise in legal states, but some data crunchers are pointing their fingers at recreational marijuana, but legalization does not lead to more car crashes or to more fatal road collisions, according to a new study published in the American Journal, and this is from June of this year, published in the American Journal of Public Health by researchers from the University of Texas at Austin. And they linked to the study, which compares the rate of fatal car crashes in Colorado and Washington before and following legalization in 2012. After delving through years of data, researchers concluded there is no evidence to suggest that marijuana has made roads unsafe. And the fact is, people were driving before marijuana was legalized. People who use marijuana were driving before it became legal to use marijuana, and they were smoking pot. And they were driving, and that was happening for decades.
I think this is confusing because here in New Hampshire, we passed essentially medical marijuana at the same time that they passed the law against texting while driving. And once they passed the texting while driving, the incidence of accidents from texting while driving actually went up as a result of the law.
Right.
And at the same time, so someone who was anti-pot could easily say because that since the law medical marijuana passes in the same legislative term, they could try to blame it on pot rather than the texting. And so I think that you're dealing with a selection effect here and a bit of a bias on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not to say that there aren't people out there who cannot drive and smoke. I mean, there's definitely marijuana affects people differently. So while the supermajority of people may be fine, or it may actually make it so they're more careful or better drivers because they're compensating, there are probably some people out there who should not even ever try doing something like that based on how marijuana affects them. But the statistics here, they're saying that this is, it's quote, there's no evidence to suggest that these states are seeing more car accidents due to cannabis. We also found no association between recreational marijuana legalization and total crash rates while analyzing available state-reported non-fatal crash statistics.
Well, that could also go back. I just thought of another point. Maybe there were already a lot of marijuana users that were driving to begin with, like you had said.
There were.
In those states. And I've always been a skeptic that legalizing marijuana leads to more use anyway, but
I think there's probably a very small number of people who will likely try marijuana because it's legal. I mean, there's going to be somebody.
Most people do anyway.
But yes, most people who've wanted to try marijuana, they've had multiple opportunities in their life because it's prevalent. There are people everywhere who smoke it. The only way, if you don't know people in your life who smoke cannabis or use cannabis, it's probably because you're so against it that everybody who does tries to keep that from you. They, are afraid of you, or they're afraid you're going to turn them into the police, or they're afraid you're going to freak out about them getting high or whatever, and so they do everything they can to keep you from knowing those things. But let me tell you, even in like the most religious families, there are probably people in those families who smoke cannabis. It's very, very popular, and that means a lot of them are smoking and driving, or driving after smoking, and so on.
Yeah, I live in a community, as a Muslim, that most people automatically assume that you're not, this isn't happening. But you've had the chairman of the North American Fiqh Council, like his job is to look at Islamic law and tell Muslims how to be good Muslims, who's like, medical cannabis is permitted by Islamic law, and the fact that American law doesn't is oppressive. Like that's how he sees it. You've got people, and I won't name them because of the controversy it can create. But you have big name people in the Muslim community, big name activists in the Muslim community that I know personally who have come to me and told me, like I use medical cannabis and I can't get imams to talk to me about it. The imams who are willing to talk about it. And will tell you the truth about how it's allowed, won't say so publicly because of scrutiny and possibility of backlash and all of these negative associations within our culture that were literally created by government to enforce racism.
Now, thank you for the call, Stefan. Appreciate hearing from you. So why is it allowed? Because isn't there a prohibition on altering one state of consciousness within Islam?
Because of the difficulty of of like chronic pain or wasting disease or the glaucoma is the example that's used by Mukhtar Magawi, the chairman of the North American Fiqh Council. It's glaucoma because of the difficulty this creates and the fact that the cannabis is healing you. It has healing properties. It is treating your illness. It's something that has to be permissible for you because of the difficulty that not having it in your life will create. It's the same thing with like if I was dropped out of an airplane on a desert island and the only thing there was wild pig, for me not to eat the wild pig would actually be sinful because living is more important.
Would you, so in that case then...
That difficulty of like, I'll starve to death if I don't eat it.
So you could extrapolate
makes it sinful.
From that something like an MDMA therapy for PTSD would also be acceptable.
Absolutely.
All right, more on the way tomorrow night. We'll see you then online in the meantime over at freetalklive.com. And, thanks for coming on, gents. Appreciate having you here.
Glad to be here.
It's been Ian, Will, and Mike here in the studio. And again, we'll join you tomorrow for our live Thanksgiving Day edition of the show. So you can join us then online in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, November 22nd, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.96 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,280 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 2.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,174. Antiwar.com reports Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Harari will be attending the Wednesday Independence Day parade in Beirut after all, having finally arrived in Lebanon on Tuesday evening to end weeks overseas during which his fate had been highly questioned. Even Tuesday, it was not clear what would happen. He visited Egypt earlier in the day as planned, but then detoured last minute to Cyprus when he was supposed to be en route to Beirut, meeting with the Cypriot leader. Harari resigned earlier this month while in Saudi Arabia, though the Saudis are accused of having forced him to make this announcement, and he promised clarifications now that he's back in Lebanon. That's not likely to be for a day at least, with Independence Day celebrations expected before his meeting with Lebanese President Michael Aoun, and his public statement coming only after that.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
UPI reports